Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another album review / reaction here on the channel. We are here today to do part 2. So the first thing we got to say is, if you have not watched our part 1 video of this, where we listened to the first half of this concert, or the first disc, if you're going off of the CDs, though we're listening to the DVD audio, the concert audio, rather than the CD audio. But go back and watch that. I will include it. It'll be the first link in the description of this video, and it will also be, I believe, the most recent thing in the Metallica playlist we have here on the channel. So hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Patrick. This over here is Chris Parker, and this down here is Chris Schoenberg. We've got a lot of fun stuff going on today. We were not planning on doing this until just a few days ago, so this is great. Thank you guys for, on such short notice, agreeing to do this. I wanted to do this before we go into the hospital to do my transplant, but I'll talk more about that in a second. So I'm glad we were able to do this now. I hope everybody has a great time. So one different thing that's going to be happening a little bit this time is I have some notes. We're going to be taking notes. We are going to be talking less. But the first thing I want to say is make sure, if you enjoy this video, or if you've been following any of the other videos on this channel, if you've seen any of the other Metallica videos that pop up in your feed with us in them, think about subscribing to the channel, and also think about going to our Discord and enjoying our Discord, because we do a lot of fun stuff over there. There's a lot of great people over there, people who are watching right now the premiere of this video. So if you're one of these people that just watches this when it pops up on your feed, and we do these Metallica videos, however far apart they are, thank you for doing so. But no, when we release one of these big videos here on our channel, and for me, a big video is anything that's going to probably get over 500 views, I would say, we try to do a premiere, which what I do is I have the video premiere on YouTube, and then I and whoever else is in the video that can be there sit and basically chat with everybody in the live chat on the side as the video is premiering, so we all watch it together. And a lot of the people that do that are in our Discord, and so we're starting to build these really awesome relationships with these guys, and so it's really fun to just chat on the Discord about Metallica, about music, about whatever. Can be about anything. We talk about video games a lot too. So definitely go check out the Discord and make sure that you join it, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Also, speaking of premieres, we just recently, a few days ago, had the premiere of our Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon reaction. So if you like hating us here, boy, you will have a fun time hating us over there. Because, man,
Did they hate us?
oh, man.
Were you on that video, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
boy.
watch the premiere, but
We recorded it back in 2023, before I was diagnosed with cancer, in August of 2023. And, man, our people, as the days go on, it gets worse and worse. I feel like at first people were like, oh, okay, it's these guys, they watch the Metallica, they're doing Pink Floyd, it should be interesting. Or people from our Discord who are there to kind of help defend us a little bit. But, it's not very
who
good.
do they hate, you or me?
Oh, it's me. It's all me.
Okay.
It's all
It's
me.
always Patrick.
It's all me.
Yeah.
Right. And to be fair, it's kind of interesting, but it doesn't seem like 2023 was so long ago. But I mean, to me, it seems like a lifetime ago. And I listen to music, I think, even a lot differently now than I did then. And I'm a little bit more, I'll say just a little bit more familiar with prog music. And so, I think it's just kind of frustrating, Chris, because, like, it's exactly what happened with our Nightwish videos. In any video where people talk trash about us, with the exception of Led Zeppelin 4 reaction here on the channel, which I think legitimately is a terrible sounding album, and it's awful. It's a terrible album all the way through. Everything else we like maybe critique or criticize a little bit, but overall we're very positive on stuff. And people just latch onto those few negative things we say and then just tell us to go die and stuff, which is very funny. But
Dude, the one that you sent that was like unreadable, though.
I think that was just because that wasn't
people.
someone's first language, I think, is what it read to me.
Oh.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess me too, but like they were so.
Yeah. Well, I
And
couldn't
that's being enraged in a
Some of
different
it seemed
language.
complimentary. Like, thank you for calling me the long hair. I appreciate it. Nod to my cultural heritage.
I couldn't tell in that comment if they were for us or against us. It was
Yeah,
it was
pretty bad.
it was perfect.
Is that one of the ones in the group chat?
Yeah, I did. I posted it just yesterday
the
or this
long
morning.
one.
Yeah. So there's that. We've got lots of fun stuff. I will say though, doing this whole thing with Pink Floyd has definitely made me want to do some more of their albums. And I texted Cody yesterday. I messaged Chris as well. We are doing more Pink Floyd. So I want to do The Wall next. And if we enjoy doing that, then I want to do, is it We're Here With You? Is that what the album's called, Chris? We're Here With You. Is that the name of the album? With what's their one between The Wall and Dark Side? I'm sorry, I'm getting it mixed up, I think, with Archive. They have an album called We're Here With You.
I don't know. Let me look.
No, it was one of their three most famous ones.
I mean, I know.
Oh,
what it
Wish
is.
You Were
It's
Here?
Wish You Were
but-
Here.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what it is.
That's what I was looking for. Wish You Were Here. So we'll probably do those two. I don't know how
just
soon. we'll
very
get to it.
quickly, because
Mm-hmm.
I have not and will not watch that video. But
You should.
Just to get
You
clear.
should. There's a section. There's literally a 40-minute section of the video titled "Do Not Watch This."
I saw a comment that said something.
Yeah, it's not
about
40
that.
minutes. It's like 20 minutes long. But that's where we were talking about how the guys in Pink Floyd are like the worst human beings that have ever existed. So,
Well,
yeah.
okay. But other than that, did you not like the music or did you not like the audio?
I did. I liked the audio a lot. I think it sounds
Wow, okay.
fantastic. We had the conversation at the time as to whether or not it sounded like that from the beginning, because we were listening to the 2023 50-year remaster of it, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure with these guys and everything I learned about them, I don't think they would have allowed it to be changed too much. So I'm pretty sure it was a fairly faithful it should have been very close to the way the original sounded, but just maybe a little more cleaned up, a little bit, maybe a smidge more compressed. But I thought the audio sounded fantastic. I love the panning. I love the chill vibes of the whole thing. The thing I didn't care for personally, and I said it just like this, I like, and I say it in every video on this channel, I like songs to be A structure. Like, I like songs to have a verse and a chorus, and I like songs to come back to a chorus. And Pink Floyd did that in several of the songs. Money, I think Time has a chorus. My favorite song on the album is Us and Them. I think that song's fantastic.
Great song.
They have they do the chorus 4 times, and the 4th time there's no words in it, but it's still the chorus. And so, yeah, I like the album. I think there were a few tracks that were kind of just a waste of time. And I went into it not expecting it to be the way it was. You really have to think of that album as a whole piece, like a single piece of music that just happens to have track markers in it. And no one told me that beforehand, which was fun, and I think it made it fun. But like, had I known that beforehand, I would have approached it completely differently. And so, yeah. But I did overall. I definitely liked it, and I will say too. Now, a year and several months since we recorded it, I like it a lot more now. Like, just doing the editing of the video and finding the timestamps to post the video, and then watching the whole premiere back and hearing every song again. I thought it sounded really great. It reminded me of a lot of the bands that I do enjoy now that were clearly inspired by Pink Floyd, but that I like way better than Pink Floyd because they actually make normal sounding songs. But anyway, we don't need to talk about that too much. Anyone that wants to can go check that video out. And I use it as an example of the way we had a premiere, right? That video was premiering on my YouTube channel for the very first time, and I was in the comments or in the chat the entire time, and it was really fun having an ongoing conversation with I think for the first video, it was around, 60 people watching it. And then because we had to split it into 2 parts because of the copyright of the music, most people left, and then we had 20 people for the second part, the culmination of the album, the second half of the album. But it was still really fun. And when we do that for the Metallica videos, we get several hundred people in there. When we did one for the S&M Part 1, we had over 216 people, I think 220 some people at most.
Nice.
And yeah, and it was great. And it's fun to have everyone just kind of sitting there talking about, you get to see reactions to our reaction, and then also people get to have conversation with us about how we made it and everything, and what we think now, what's different, all and everything. It's really great. It honestly is a really fun time.
During the songs, though,
they do.
they
do.
They type during the guitar. How are they supposed to pay attention to the guitar solos if they're typing?
I know, but they do. They do.
Miserable bastards.
Okay, so before I do want to talk about comments just a little bit more, because I think there's a good one that was sent to us about this video, and then we also had someone leave a really nice comment about this album as a whole on our Discord. But before we do that, I just want to have a real quick update. If you're someone that's been following the channel, you'll know that I was diagnosed with leukemia in January of last year, so it's been about a year since then, and I think I mentioned in the last part that we were waiting for some insurance stuff, but I need to have a bone marrow transplant. Since then, the insurance stuff apparently has been sorted out. I now am scheduled to I have to do sort of like a full body, sort of like a bunch of tests. They have to test like my organs and all my basically my whole self to see how everything operates, so that they have a place to base it off of after the transplant is over, to know whether or not everything is returning to normal, or, you know, if there's a strange thing happening over here and it's different than it was before the transplant. So I have to have all these tests done, and then the transplant should theoretically be scheduled sometime in 8 weeks or so from now. So we'll still get to record more stuff. We'll get more videos out, but conceivably this may be the last Metallica video we do before we go into the before I have to go into the hospital. And for those of you who haven't been following, I will be in the hospital for 30 days, and then I will have to live in the city where the hospital is, which is about an hour and a half away from where I live now on a farm. I'll have to stay there for an additional 70 days. So there'll be 100 days throughout this year where I'm not going to be here at home. However, I am planning to take my equipment with me, and we will be recording videos. We will be making content as long as I'm feeling up for it. And I don't think we'll do a Metallica video, though. I think we'll wait until I get back home. So it will probably be quite a large chunk. Unless it looks like I'm on the verge of death and we want to get out Garage Inc. or Garage Inc. Disc 2 or whatever before I pass
Can we
away.
do something more fun than this if you're going to die?
Yeah. You know, we'll have to just see. We'll see when the time comes.
We could do one and then just talk over the whole thing. We'll just put it on in the background.
Just hilarious. Yeah.
Just
or just talk the whole time, and then in the video I'll put the music in there. Don't even acknowledge it the whole time. We actually, if we did that, we should just do Polyphia, Chris, for like a 3-hour Polyphia marathon. Oh, people would love that. Okay, so anyway, that's my update for that. So I'll keep everyone posted. I will be making content based on it that I will be posting to the channel. So the channel might change what it looks like a little bit during that time. I have a really nice new phone with a nice camera, and so I can do quick little videos and updates and things. So I'm going to try to do more short form things like that. And TikTok was gone for a while, but now TikTok's back apparently. So maybe I'll start a TikTok, but probably not. Okay, now I want to talk just briefly about the comments. We got one comment here. I was going to go into the Pink Floyd video and just read some of the comments because they're so mean and hurtful, but I'm not going to do that. I do think it's funny that the basis of a lot of the comments on the Pink Floyd video are from the perspective of like I would never, you're such terrible audio engineers because you think this way about Pink Floyd. How would anyone ever hire you? Basically is what a lot of the comments were. Or they were like, how dare
you? I haven't been hired in decades.
Right, exactly. And a lot of those comments I posted, and I was like, I've made music in the past, but it's absolutely terrible, you know? And the people are like, oh, at least you admit it's terrible. But the funny thing is, like, people seem to think that, like, I have, in order for me to have a opinion on Pink Floyd, I have to have created something that is of greater or equal value to Pink Floyd.
Right.
And that is just absolutely ridiculous. So, spoiler for anybody watching this video, I personally have never played in an orchestra, recorded Metallica, met the guys in person, met any of the people who played in the orchestra in person, was not at the concert. So maybe I don't have the right to talk about them, but we're going to do it anyway. So, that's that. And that's only part of the mean comments. However, I want to talk about a really nice comment that we got 2 weeks ago when we posted the initial part 1 of Symphony of Metallica. And this comment was so nice, I thought that I would really try my hardest to change the way that we approach these. So I'm going to read this whole comment. I want everybody to know and see what you all think as I read.
Is this the long one you were talking about a little bit ago?
No.
Okay.
It's not super long. It's a short paragraph and a long paragraph. This is from MC Riddle 859, and this is on just on YouTube. One of the comments on part 1 of S&M. It says, And I don't know if this person, by the way, is on our Discord. Most of the nice comments come from the people who are on our Discord, but they have different YouTube names than they have on Discord. So I'm not sure if this is someone that's on Discord. Thank you for this awesome comment. Let me know in Discord that this was you. Okay, it says, Patrick, I love you, man. I really think you're a good and kind person with the best intentions. But it's not so much that you talk at the worst times. It's more that you sometimes make long-winded statements that are not important whatsoever during pivotal moments of the song.
Sometimes.
Okay, right. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing, right? Okay, that's only the first paragraph. Second paragraph. Yeah, we've all heard these songs a million times, and I understand that you're listening to these with a technical purpose, but you're also responding to the music as a fan for the first time, and we anticipate your reaction to it based off of key moments that you just seem to dismiss. That's the only reason why your trolling and negative comments strike a nerve at times. It's because you're sometimes not taking the music in the way it's intended to be listened to. Okay, we could talk about that for a long time, but we're not going to.
Yeah, we're doing it on YouTube, folks.
Yeah. Now you definitely have your moments where you're like, "Oh, wow, that was really cool," and those are the moments we are filled with over anxiety in hoping that you make it to those specific parts of a song, which we want you to catch. It's an emotional roller coaster trying to watch these videos of you. I love your videos and I appreciate your authenticity and good-natured personalities. And then there was a nice thread after that with a lot of people saying, like, this is very articulately put, really good way to put it. So, like, okay. First of all, I respond much better to positive comments like that. So if you want to leave a terrible, hateful comment, do it in a nice way, and then I'll take it as criticism instead of your helpful criticism, rather than just mean spirited.
In a constructive way.
Yeah, constructive way. Yeah. So what we're going to try here is I'm going to try to actually listen to the music in this reaction, and watch the video as well. And we are still going to talk over the music at times. This is a reaction, of course. If you guys want, and let me know if you want this in the comments, we can just not record ourselves watching, or we can watch it, record ourselves, and then I can cut those sections of the video out. And then guess what? I could monetize these videos, and we could make the $10 this video will make over its lifetime. That could go to me instead of to Metallica, if we did that. However, I think that it's more beneficial to have the music, and in this case, the video and the music in the video, so that you can see exactly what we're seeing and hear exactly what we're hearing. And we can all sort of discuss it and enjoy it together. So we're going to do that for this video. But I honestly, if a bunch of comments are like, no, you should do that, just listen to the song in quiet, cut it out of the video, and then talk about it, and then monetize the videos, I would be happy to do that. So just let us know if that's what you want. I know nobody wants that, but I'm trying, whatever. If you want to do it, do it. So with that, all that being said, we're less than 20 minutes into this video. I say we get into the music.
What?
So the plan,
I agree.
Just at an hour past the time we said that we would get together. That's
to be expected. But so what I've got my notebook here. I'm going to take notes of certain things to bring up, and then if I hear something specific, we may comment on it. I think it's going to be on all three of us as to whether or not we want to respond to stuff and start a conversation. If we want, we could try pausing the songs as well. I'm going to avoid that for now, but if it feels like we are on too long of a thing, we can just pause it and go back if we need to. We'll kind of just play it by ear. But I'm really going to make a conscious effort, everybody. I'm going to make a conscious effort.
Look how close he's getting to the camera.
That's how you know I'm serious.
This is going to make it even more funny when you're lying.
I wish you had a fisheye lens to go with how close you are to that.
I'm going to make a conscious effort to not talk during the songs. Not too much, at least. Okay? It's not a reaction video if we don't talk a little bit.
If anybody knew how many times he said that.
But this time I mean it. I mean it, Chris's. I mean it.
There's only one way to find out.
All right. Before we start, here's my beverage. This is a special beverage I've been saving for this video. This is Mountain Sprecher.
Okay.
This is a soda in a bottle that is sold at Menards in our area. Mm-hmm. And Hold on, I've never used one of these before. I think you do this. Yeah, I got it.
Hey, wouldn't I?
Trying this for the very first time, okay, everybody? Head to your local Menards and you can buy this soda too. Pause the video, go buy a batch of it. You can buy them individually as well, and come back.
My local what, he'll say? Everyone says?
Terrible. Yuck. Made with real honey. Yeah, you can. It's Mount Sprecher caffeinated citrus soda, craft soda.
Citrus soda made with real honey. Boy, what a combo.
Okay, it's not bad. It's just a brand's version of sort of Mountain Dew, Mountain Thunder type thing. All right. I'm pulling up the video. Before we started, we all kind of synced our videos up, so we're at 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 19 seconds. Are you all ready?
Of the Nictendius version, which people in his comments have said that they consider this the definitive online version of this.
Shout out to Nictendius. He is a member of our Discord. He's awesome. He's one of the dudes that's there. I was looking through. I actually subscribed. You can see here. I subscribed to his channel earlier today. This is how you spell it, and this is his little picture if you're looking for it on YouTube. The other videos he has are all Metallica videos, and they are all videos, documentaries, pieces of Metallica footage stuff put together. So we may watch other stuff on this channel. If you want us to watch a specific thing, make sure you mention it in the comments or go join our Discord and let us know there. All right, are you guys all ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is Symphony of Metallica, Part 2. I do not know which songs are on this side of the disc. I specifically kept myself in the dark, so we will continue the game that we started last time, where I guess what the songs are, or see how long it takes me to figure out what the songs are. We also better get some of the classics here, because we had, of the 12 songs on disc side 1, or 10 songs or however many, I think 9 of them were from Load and Reload, and then 1 was Master of Puppets. So, in 3, 2, 1. Shout out to your Squaresoft shirt, Chris. That's pretty cool.
Oh.
Let me know if my audio starts doing that thing. Oh, they're all leaving. I guess it's over.
Do we get to watch all of intermission?
There should be a nice intermission song playing, right? Some little Musilek.
His violin has a tumor. Did you see that?
I missed it. Dang it! I was looking.
It was had a really weird shape at the top.
They could play Megadeth
Maybe he's got a weird shoulder.
between sets.
That would have been custom built then, which is not unheard
Oh boy.
of.
Well, that's where we should have ended the first part. All right, here we go. Part 2. This is where Otacon tells you to put in the second disc. Snake, you have to put in disc 2. Oh, this is a Blu-ray.
Hold it, Snake.
My technology
Time
is
to
awesome.
change the disc. I know, it's a
That
pain.
MGS
But you need to
4?
swap disc 1
Of
for disc 2.
MGS4
You see
referencing
the
Metal
disc
Gear
labeled
Solid.
2?
No.
Huh?
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna have to adjust the
Oh,
volume as we go
wait.
here.
Yeah,
We're on
I
PlayStation
might have
3.
that same thing
It's a
here.
Blu-ray disc. Dual layered too. No need to swap.
Damn it, Otacon. Get a grip.
Yeah, what an age we live in, huh, Snake? Wonder what they'll think of next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We did get a couple comments talking about how the harp lady in this orchestra was a big metal fan and a big Metallica fan. So I guess James was like signed a bunch of stuff for her, and like she was really fangirling out the whole time and really
That's really cool.
did her best to like metal harp it up.
Mm-hmm. I like knowing that. That's great.
And there's a sweet harp part at the beginning of Bleeding Me as well that I noticed when I was listening back to the CD earlier today, which has a completely different mix than this. All right, Kirk's up there. He's going to do something with... Oh, no, don't start it out with another instrumental.
Not any music has happened yet. Calm down.
I know, I just... Okay. Okay, all right. an acoustic guitar.
He's gonna do flamenco style.
Little Django Reinhardt.
Yep. Nylon strings.
Little gypsy jazz.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite style of guitar. There's a metal harpist.
Well spotted. If I was in a crowd and the camera pointed at me while I happened to be singing along to a show like this, I'd be insane with rage.
Would you? I would take the still and print it out and put it on the wall.
How dare you put me on this camera?
Come on, James, take the song seriously.
What does that mean?
Finish the phrases the way they're supposed to be finished. Don't just taper off.
Little
I get it though.
fade outs.
He's doing a live, you know. He's doing great.
Mm-hmm.
But he is eating that microphone. We should all talk like that the whole time. You know what I mean?
I wonder if it's because the volume knob's on it down. It's like down to prevent feedback or something. So he's got to like eat it to get anything into it.
That was legitimately a sweet shot where it focused on the page. You couldn't even see the strings of the harp there. So cool. Okay, I have a legit question here. We see Jason doing background vocals. Is there another member of the band that also does background vocals during this?
No.
Okay. I heard three parts going at the same time on the CD earlier today during Fuel, during the chorus. So
I mean,
I question.
It's not illegal for Kirk to do it. It happens sometimes.
Right.
But
right. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And
it is illegal for Losh to do it.
In a context like this, they could have just have someone off to the side with a microphone in the dark, adding one extra part every now and then. I like these extended instrumental sections here. Is this the longest he let his hair get before he cut it again?
I think so.
Because he had it on some kind of monster and Saint Anger, he had it short again, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that harp on the left?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Interesting. James solo using a pickup on the electric guitar or on the acoustic. So Chris Schoenberg, how does that work? Does he have a pedal that he just pushed, or is there someone in the back doing it for him, like controlling the pedals and everything?
That would be really weird. I'm kind of surprised that electric guitar solo. I don't know how they do that. Somebody else knows.
Let us know in the comments.
I wouldn't sound like that.
I mean, I wouldn't think so. Whoa, that's an interesting pretty rare you see digital zoom. Or not like zoom. Pretty rare to ever see zoom unless it's like a slow. Where's James going?
Home.
Where's he going, everybody?
Imagine just sitting there playing violin and James Hetfield like walks through, he's like
Accidentally farts in your face.
Bumps into you or something. I would not be able to just keep playing.
I'll bet he's a nice guy in real life, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure all of them probably are, if you catch them at the right time.
I think this was on that for a couple of them.
Should we go into the next one? We'll pause it. I'm pausing it in 3, 2, 1. Oh, shoot. Well, okay, we'll back up a little before we...
I like the orchestral thing on that. I think it was really... I thought it was really nice. Kind of a weird set opener.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you start with a rocker and then do that one, like, right before you do whatever big rocker they do at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting because the last song they did before this technically was Bleeding Me, which is probably somewhat similar to that one. Definitely a slow one. And then they did the Devil's Dance one before that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then before that, they did Hero of the Day. So it is an interesting choice. I was hoping they would do that song. I would have gotten probably upset if they didn't do that song, because I think you guys said last time that it was them putting strings on this song on the Black Album that put the idea for doing this concert initially in their minds.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we're going to do as we go through this, and we can start a bit of it now, Chris, that message on Discord, that Ponkus or something like Ponkius or something like that.
Yeah.
One of the awesome members on our Discord wrote us a very long sort of like piece basically about some facts about S&M. And it's totally my fault. I forgot to look that message up and to talk about it when we were doing part 1 of this. So we're going to talk about it now.
Yeah. So, yeah, to the point of very relevance, Michael Kamen approached Metallica first with the idea of a concert with classical music after he was in charge of the orchestration in Nothing Else Matters.
Okay.
And the band said that they liked it. In the end, the band went another direction and chose a different version of what Kamen had worked on and asked what happened. Asking what happened, and Metallica just shrugged it off. I'm not really sure what that is referring to. The alternate version of Nothing Else Matters is called the Elevator version, and it is found in the Metallica Deluxe box set released in 2021. Metallica took the decision of actually working his concert in the fall of '97. So I guess there's an alternate version of this in some capacity that I've never heard of, and I'd be interested to listen to.
Yeah, that sounds to me like he originally had an idea for how the song should sound on Black Album, and the Metallica decided not to do his idea. They put something else on the album, and then they came back to him later to do this.
Do you want all these facts now, or just drop one between songs?
Let's talk about the song, and as I'm talking with some of my thoughts, you can read the rest of it and kind of see when it's pertinent to bring stuff up. But we can also bring it up whenever, whatever. So I enjoyed that song. I have a couple of thoughts on the part 1 because I've been listening to it a little bit more recently.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling you guys before we started recording earlier today, I was listening to the first disc in the set because I have I don't have the DVD of this. I have the CD 2-disc set. And I tried 3 times to listen to this album all the way through. And the first 2 times I fell asleep during Call of Cthulhu because that song is so utterly boring and trash. So there you go. Instrumental music is awful. That's something people can complain about in the comments. I really do feel that, though, and all of my experience as a professional audio engineer tells me that. So, but seriously though, it's hard. I can't listen to that whole song. I cannot get through it. There are some cool orchestral things in it. However, it just isn't, I don't know, it's whatever. It's not for me. I've talked about that in all of our videos where they have an instrumental song. It's not for me. So the other thing that was really interesting to me once I actually did make it through that, or I just had to skip that on the 3rd time, and then I listened to the other songs on the album. I think Of Wolf and Man is amazing. I liked it the first when we listened to it and reacted to it, but having sat and focused on the song without saying anything the whole time and listening to the CD version, it really is great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that the CD, it's pretty obvious, and I think some people had mentioned this in our Discord, and maybe even a couple people mentioned in the comments on part 1, that the CD mix is different from the DVD mix. So the mix we're listening to here, I'm sure, is the DVD mix that Nick Tendius did some stuff on it to make it a little HDified. And it's much more, I feel like a little bit more balanced, and there's more orchestra in it. Whereas on the CD, I feel like the orchestra is much more contained and it's not super wide. Metallica is definitely the widest thing you're hearing on the CD. And the kick drum is the most massive kick drum I've ever heard in any recording ever. It's stupidly loud. It sounds just like the drums from Load and Reload, more specifically from Reload. The kick is like the same kick. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if they used the same sample to like when they were making the album. But after listening to the CD now, even more than I did when we were watching the first part, and we talked about this for quite a while, I really question whether or not what we are hearing is the exact audio that was played when we are seeing.
Well, good thing you bring that up. The next point on this list, it is heavily implied that this concert has been doctored with, specifically James. Especially with James's voice. The most notable cases are in Nothing Else Matters and the high-pitched screams in No Leaf Clover. I don't know who or where that is implied, but apparently it's heavy, so I should see it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people comment that as well. In the comments of our video specifically, and on Discord, people were talking a lot about what they did after the fact to this. In post-processing. And a lot of people said that there were a couple people that said that they thought that the vocals were replaced throughout the entire album. I don't think that that's necessarily true. We decided last time that on No Leaf Clover, they were all replaced, we thought, or at least after the first verse on.
The sound was completely different in No Leaf Clover.
Sounded different, yep. And it just is... in watching it, you can tell, obviously, that the quality of his microphone is great. And when he's talking to the audience and stuff, that's when you can tell. But also, you can tell when you're watching someone and they've overdubbed a different performance over the top of someone singing a part. You can kind of tell. They can futz with it during editing so that you can't really tell. But the way they're lingering on shots of him singing, I think it looks to me like what we're hearing is what he's actually singing. Now,
I agree. I've never considered anything else to be true about that.
Now, on the CD, that's obviously there's no image to go with it. But I would bet it would be interesting to take the audio from the DVD and the audio from the CD and to like play this, put them both in a DAW and like look at it. Not necessarily look at it, but like, cut out a 10-second clip, cut out the same 10-second clip from the CD, go back and forth, listen to it, because it clearly is a different mix, as it would have to be.
Might as well do the phase shift. Just do the phase flip and then lay them on top of each other and see how much
how different it is. It would be a way different, though, because the whole mix is different.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this earlier today, Chris. There's probably a surround sound mix on the DVD, right? With most live DVDs have a surround sound mix, whether it's just crowd noise in the back or not.
Maybe. Yeah, probably. Probably, 5.1. I don't...
And I think what they do for that is there's a whole different mix for the surround mix. So there's probably exists a stereo mix of this concert and also a surround sound mix.
I'd be down to hear that.
Yeah, and I would be curious, is the stereo mix the same mix as the CD?
Right.
But also on the CD, a lot of the banter and stuff was taken out because you can only fit 80 minutes on a CD. Whereas I'm sure the DVD or the Blu-ray or whatever, the first half of this concert is longer than 80 minutes, probably, I would guess. Maybe not. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure how long the CD was, but there was definitely banter cut out, which is fine. You don't need all the banter on a CD.
The DVD is not a surround mix. It's just stereo.
Interesting. Okay, that's very interesting.
But who cares if they replace all the vocals?
Not me.
I'm just going to stay here and say I don't care.
Because I was going to say, I think that this is the most, vocally, my favorite performance of this song, hands down. And I think overall, like, he does so much more, like, singing in this entire concert than he generally does otherwise. And I love it. It's all great.
Yeah, and, like, sure, like people act like they want to, see Metallica live, and there are plenty of opportunities to do that on the internet now, especially to like see what they really sound like when they play. But like, this wasn't a low budget thing. This isn't your local band set up a camcorder in the corner of the room. Like, this is a big money production. It has to be good. If it was bad, did you guys watch the Antarctica thing? I'm sure I've talked about it on the channel before.
I don't know.
They
played like a little dome with headphones.
Yeah.
Weirdest thing in the whole world. Weirdest thing they've ever done.
It was terrible. And
what was
Kirk's
that?
guitar was out of tune the whole time, which I should give him props for, because as far as I'm concerned, Kirk is like kind of notorious for being out of tune in live performances. And this one, I'm sure I didn't complain about it in the last video. And like, I was listening to that like clean thing, and that's a good spot to like really hear out of tune notes. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not out of tune.
Yeah, I forgot about the Antarctic thing. The Metallica is the only band, or one of the only bands, to play shows on all 7 continents, and which includes Antarctica. They played inside of like a dome, like a little glass dome for a super small crowd, and they all had headphones, and they played.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Headphones.
Yeah, it was just
and
like the people that were like on the base there or whatever. Like it was like the scientists and stuff that were there.
Awesome.
Everything about it is really cool.
Like a whole
show? It
show?
was an internet thing. Yeah, I mean, and they like premiered it live. That was a big deal at the time, because this had to have been, I don't know, 8 years ago.
Oh, I was going to say like 2007, but
no, it couldn't. I'm sure I watched it live, and I watched it in this house, and I've only lived here for like 12 years.
Okay, yeah, 2013 rather.
Okay,
freeze them all.
Oh yeah, there you
Interesting.
go.
That's awesome. I speaking of weird Metallica shows, I was looking them up. I was curious on Amazon what happens if you just type in like Metallica live, what pops up, or Metallica DVD or show or whatever. And one of the things that popped up that I thought was really interesting was, what was it called? It was some clever pun on one of their song titles, but basically it was a show that they did with Outlaws. So every song featured a different drummer. Do you guys?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, did you guys?
I don't know anything about it.
It was called
how much better was it than everything else? Metallica?
I don't know, but I know on the front of the because you can buy it off. I don't know how much, but I guess they only made 500 copies of it. So, but you can go buy it for $19 or whatever on Amazon right now. I think it's just a CD, but apparently it was kind of a neat thing. It was done in 2004, I think. And like I know Joey Jordison was one of the drummers, so the drummer from Slipknot, and then I didn't recognize the other drummer that they had listed on the front of it at least, and then I looked on the back and it didn't say the names of the other drummers. So I don't know if it's 2 drummers switching back and forth or if every song legitimately has a different drummer. But the title of it was something very clever. I'll try to find a picture of it and put it up here or something. It was one of their song titles, but it was like I can't even think of what it was, but it was like a pun with one of their things. But it was No Lars.
No Lars Clover.
That's what it was. No Lars Clover.
Dave Lombardo was one of them.
Is it really called No Lars Clover? I was just guessing. That was almost a joke.
I literally think that you're right. It is called No Lars Clover, which makes sense being from 2004. They were still kind of touring with this, had all this stuff in mind. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So anyway, that's some interesting stuff. In terms of Nothing Else Matters, this is one of the very first songs I ever learned how to play on the guitar, meaning the bum, 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 because you don't have to put your left hand anywhere on the guitar. I'm sure maybe the correct way to play it you do, but when you can just open string E, which was fun to do at the time when I was, probably a sophomore in high school or whatever, but I don't know. I've always liked this song. I think it's really cool. I don't think I like it as much as, what's the other slow one from The Unforgiven? I kind of think, I always kind of put The Unforgiven and Nothing Else Matters together in my head. And I think I like The Unforgiven a little bit more. But Nothing Else Matters is a classic. And I'm glad they did it here. And it obviously makes sense, works the most well with the symphony because the symphony part was basically already written. Though it was definitely more here, and there were nice longer stretched out sections, instrumental sections where the orchestra was doing more, which was really nice. So all right, we can move on then if you guys are ready to.
Yes, let's.
I'll just have to say as well, there's a huge, when I'm looking at you guys, like there's like a 5-second delay from when you speak when I hear your words. So just for everybody watching this video, I will try as hard as I can to make it so that it's like nice, but I may have to do some weird stuff to make that work. So just, whatever it is whatever it is. But I'll try to make it so that we are all kind of responding to each other naturally without there being less of talking over each other. All right. So we are on 1:19:07 and we are going into whatever the next song is in 3, 2, 1.
This is one of my favorite songs from
I
Low.
don't know what this is at all. Okay, I still don't know what it is. It's familiar. I'm familiar with it. Hear me open.
One of the most egregious versions of like, we're starting this song in the middle of the song.
Until it sleeps. Okay.
Yep.
I had to wait for them to get to that line in the song. Okay, gotcha. Got it though.
You don't get any points for guessing it as he says it.
No, I don't. That should be negative points for me. But as I said last time, it's hard for me to remember the song titles from Load and Reload. Or any of their albums. Chris Schoenberg, how do you feel about this song?
I like this song.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Strings are great here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Those low strings. The low section on the right side.
Oh, good line of those strings there. The Discord host predicted this would be your favorite.
Okay, I'm pausing it at 1:23:33.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to go right into it or if they're still in the process of stopping it, but I want to make sure just in case because that was a very short one, it felt like to me. Mm-hmm. And that
123.33?
123.33. That one also to me felt like the least affected by the orchestra. Like if you took the orchestra out of that, I bet it would have basically been the same song.
I was going to say that that's like probably about as heavy as you can get while making the orchestra like not feel like it was just jammed in.
I agree. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Because I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
I mean, because they do some cool stuff on the other songs, but like, I mean, let's not pretend that this stuff works as good on the fast songs as it does as on Nothing Else Mattress.
Sure.
Yeah, see that I disagree with you completely. I was listening to the CD earlier today, like I said, and we don't need to get into this too much. But what I then did was listen to a few songs from bands that I listen to all the time that play with orchestras all the time, and no, that's just not true. You can do lots of cool stuff with orchestra and piano specifically, and other things like that. On fast, heavy songs too.
Metallica songs specifically, and songs that have already existed and then had an orchestra, taped to the side of them. All of those songs are written with orchestra.
All right, but Chris's point continuously has been you can't do something with the fast song. You can't utilize an orchestra to its fullest potential in a fast song to the extent that you could in a slow song. And I'm just saying I don't necessarily agree with that. I think you should be able to utilize the orchestra equally on any different style of song. I do think that stereotypical like orchestral strings, like you just think of slow, lush strings. So I think that obviously that would work better in a slow song. And also in a slow song, there's more space for like flourishes and things. But I still think that you can do cool stuff in a fast song. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I wasn't trying to make a point or slam you, Chris. I just was like, you mentioned that.
I mean, you're wrong,
right?
But,
you mentioned it. You mentioned it several times last video as well. And
did I?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Sounds like a super me thing to say.
Yeah, that's all right. But that's all right. That's cool. So yeah, but I just wanted to make sure I mentioned
the
that.
orchestra didn't play the riff, did they? That was until it sleeps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
I don't know what to say.
I like Jason's background vocals. I like that he just doubled James for so long, and then they did a back and forth, and it sounded good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I think Lars is being a good boy. I think his snare sounds really good.
Yeah, he's kept his tongue in and his shirt on.
Yeah, he's not standing up in the middle of songs, but he's hitting stuff soft too. Because I was thinking that snare sounded really good, and he's not beat like, and you can hear it's either in the beginning of that song or right at the end. Like he does a couple little cymbal hits, and they're really thin and soft, and like I'm thinking about that kind of stuff a lot right now, but I don't think that that's typical Lars.
I agree.
Okay.
Rock drummers like to hit stuff.
Just the same velocity every time. Yeah. I agree with that as well. And again, when I was listening to the CD on Hero of the Day, you could really tell that the kick drum, while still being massive, I think a little bit too massive on the CD's mix specifically, it was a different sound than on the previous songs, and the snare sounded different as well because he was playing quieter. Speaking of his shirt, Chris, which you mentioned he is keeping on, I did want to shout out on the Discord. Someone mentioned that we had mentioned that we were wondering. Chris Schoenberg was asking, why is he wearing a white shirt? Why is he wearing a white shirt? And then later on in the video, we answered the question ourselves by saying he didn't have a direct line of sight to the conductor. And so the reason for him wearing the white shirt was so the conductor could see Lars more easily.
Okay.
Somebody confirm. I saw that, and that makes total sense.
Makes 1,000,000% sense.
Is that just speculation?
No, I think that it's the way that the way that the post was worded. It made it seem to me like that was a confirmed thing. Like they must have mentioned it in some of the. I also saw that there's a 3-part documentary, like a 3-hour. They released a 3-disc special edition of behind the scenes of this, of S&M 1, and they released. I don't know why I keep coughing. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I have cancer or something. But no, it has nothing to do with the cancer. I don't think. I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. But they each disc has like an hour-long part of a documentary on it. So somewhere out in the void is this 3-hour documentary, as far as I understand it. Again, this is just on Amazon. I saw it. But since there's so much behind-the-scenes stuff, it wouldn't surprise me if somewhere they mentioned, like, oh, Lars, I'm having trouble seeing you while they were maybe rehearsing or something. And he's like, you need to wear a white shirt or something.
Yeah, I'd like to watch that. That'd be cool.
I would love to see how they did that, especially to see if they talk about mic positioning or what are they going to, or I mean, more than anything, I would love to hear the guys in the band talking about what it's going to sound like after the fact, whether it was before they recorded or after, because as we said in the first part, I can't believe that they allowed this album to sound as good as it does, because we know what they created after this, and it was like this hell on earth of them trying to, like, this is the same band that released And Justice for All and Saint Anger, so the fact that this sounds as good as it does is still amazing to me.
Love Saint Anger.
Love them both.
I love the way it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the way that both of those sound.
You're definitely wrong about one of them. The other one, you're too hard on.
And that definitely might be true, that I am hard on it. That's true. I just feel like you should not give this band excuses when they are one of the most massive bands on the planet. So, all right.
Yeah, whatever. Onward.
Yeah. Also, again, my perspective, again, for anyone who's maybe this is your first video or this is I just heard all of Metallica's albums for the first time within the last year and a half. So this is all my opinions are coming from the perspective of someone who's new to their career and their catalog. All right, we are on 1:23:33.
Yep.
Going into the next song in 3, 2, 1.
Kick drum.
Okay, this is Don't Tell Me. This is that guitar riff I hate the way it sounds.
I don't think that's true.
This is from Ride, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this Fade to Black?
No.
For Whom the Bell Tolls?
Yeah.
Okay, I knew it was one of the two. I get those two mixed up. Regardless, we'll see what they can do without allowing the song to fade out, because I know it fades out on the album.
Yeah, that one's not the worst fade out ever, though.
No, and as everyone has told me, Fade to Black is literally in the title of the song, so I should allow it. It should be acceptable. And I kind of get it.
That's a cool part. See, that's
It is.
doing heavy stuff.
Well, this whole album is back when they were still real metal, right? Look at those nerds. That guy with this...
Orchestra?
Yes. They're the real nerds for sure, but no. I was talking about the dude with the flannel shirt tied around his waist.
What's 2001? Or 99 even.
Yeah, 1991 called and said they want your grunge back.
This song is so good, man. And I really love the effect Jason is using on the bass in the beginning.
Kirk's pretty low in the mix here, by the way. Both the guitars are, really. Yeah.
The balance is so perfect, though, because they're still there.
Halfway through the verse already, and it just started. Remember?
I love the big delays they put on the
A
vocals.
lot more vocals in a short amount of time here, you know? He was getting breathless.
Why does he have two different kinds of picks on his mic stand?
For the different types of songs. Very cool. It's funny because this is like a slow song on Ride the Lightning. You know, this is like one of the slower songs on the album. Every other song is like double bass constantly. Like, or the fast, like, you know. It's not this. This fits in with everything we've had so far in the concert. Very cool.
I love that part.
Do you think they had the delays on his vocal in the concert live, or was that after the fact?
I bet it was live.
Up there.
It's so funny with
Yeah,
the stuff
it
he
is.
says. Now he's standing up.
It's so funny because it's like they don't know how to dress nice, so they're all just wearing the nicest black clothes they have. And what they look like is the like roadie people who set up 4 orchestras at a fancy place.
They know how to dress nice, but they got to.
I know. I'm just saying they look. It's kind of strange what they're wearing, but it makes sense. You know, they're a metal band. That was great. We're gonna pause it. I'll just pause it in 3, 2, 1. I'm at 1:28:30.
You're consistently a couple seconds behind me.
Well, that's probably because when I say 3, 2, 1, I hit my button and then it takes like a second for the video to actually start. I try to compensate for that, and you know, but whatever. That was great.
1:28:30.
1:28:30.
James's sheet music there.
Yes. Yep.
That's what is on there? Is that a chord chart in the middle? It can't be.
It's some kind of a table or a graph of some kind.
Well, he is the table.
Maybe he's been doodling.
It's a self-portrait.
That's great. Yes. Yeah, it's something on there though. Unless it's like maybe a image of the stage, like where to go from one part to the next or something for this song.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know, just a thought. On the CD, which I left upstairs because I'm unprepared for this, on the back of the CD case, there is a picture of 2 set lists, and I've never seen the right one. I always cover it with my hand when I look at the picture of the left one. But the set lists look like that, kind of. So that song was awesome. That song to me felt like the first song in that they really didn't do too much to make a new arrangement of the song. They just added the orchestra to the song that already existed the way it was, which is kind of what we were saying before on Until It Sleeps.
That's pretty consistent throughout. I don't think they really arranged much differently, the actual songs.
Maybe. I kind of remember there being parts of things earlier on. I mean, it's kind of tough to remember everything, but I know on Nothing Else Matters had extended sections within the song where the orchestra was being featured. Whereas Until It Sleeps to me felt very short. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that song was under 4 minutes. This song felt, at the end they did the part where they're like doing the tom drums and the big hits and everyone was standing and Kirk was doing a little solo-y bendy type thing. That wasn't in the original song, I don't think, right? Because they had to end the song somehow now because they're doing it live and it can't just fade out.
Right.
And I thought that was neat. That was very cool. I don't know. I thought
fade
that was
out
good.
on the record though, because of the way that goes. Like, yeah, you could have just ended it with noise like they did it live, but like I think to me that because I am also in the anti fade out club, but I don't think that one's so bad.
Yeah,
With that
and maybe it's not.
Boo doo 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 like over and over again. Like
Right.
Like it was written to be fade out instead of
Yeah.
like what it often feels like. I'm not. I am defending that fade out. I am.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're right though.
I'm defending that one.
If there are different levels of fade outs, and you're absolutely right. There, I finally got the thing that's made my throat out. There are really egregious fade outs like America does on all of their songs, where literally the second the third chorus starts, it just fades out. It's terrible and egregious. But then there are the like infinitely repeating parts at the end of songs where the song is basically over and then they do a little riff or a part and they just repeat that part over and over and over and over and maybe do a little riff over the top of it or some gang vocals or something. You're right. That is much more excusable than some
it's the
egregious
fade outs. It's the fade outs when you're hearing it and it's like, and it sounds like if you just turn it up and keep the song going, that you might hear more song, you know?
Yeah.
Like different parts of a song instead of just the repeated riff.
Yeah.
But using the song title to justify a fade out is a terrible argument.
Well, no, it's not so much that it's that. It's like it's the thematic. It's what the song is about and crap. You know, like it's about.
I like my reduction of their argument better, Patrick.
Hey, you know, I'm not gonna ever push back against someone arguing that a fade out is bad. So you know, I agree with you. But in terms of this song, in terms of for this fade to what is this song? For whom the bell tolls. I never heard any bells in there, which I thought was kind of strange. Maybe at the beginning there was like one. But certainly not as much as there was in the Ennio Morricone intro song at the beginning. So, you know, I was a little disappointed at the lack of bells tolling. Also, the guitars during the intro I felt were a little low. It could have been that intro riff that I don't like, that however it goes. I don't care for the way that riff sounds ever, and I don't know if it's the guitar tone or what it is. But even when we reacted to that, when we did Ride the Lightning a million years ago,
isn't it?
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
That's why you don't like it.
You know what?
Bass.
Yes, and bass players are stupid and terrible, and all of them should die. That's what it is. No, I don't think that. I love bass players. They're a dime a dozen, but they're great and they're an essential part of a band. Except now they're not.
Not true.
Also not true. No, I would not be surprised if in the next 10 years bass players right now are completely obsolete because you can just program bass parts, and also nowadays you can just play a guitar riff, as Chris saw in our What Is Metal video. You can just play a guitar riff and have an AI program write a bass part as you're performing it. So. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. But that is kind of weird. I don't particularly care for the way it sounds on the album. And here I thought it was very low in the mix. You could almost barely hear it at all. And that's kind of one of the not defining, but I guess like one of the defining parts or riffs or most unique parts of the song, especially during the intro there. But when it all came in and kicked in and that sort of chug part starts, oh, that sounded great.
But those guitars were really low too.
They were low, yes. They were very low during the whole intro, I thought. But the reason for that,
squishy.
Well, the reason for that, I think, is because they were trying to focus more on the orchestral part there. Yes. So they were having the strings and the whole orchestra do a little bit more there. And then when it came down and James started singing, their instruments, it feels like, were brought up a little bit more, and the orchestra laid back a little bit. So that all totally makes sense.
Do they have guitar amps on stage? How are they monitoring? These are questions that I've had.
That's a great question. Yeah.
Are they? I haven't looked to see if they have in-ears. I see right now there's a pack on James's guitar strap, but that could be guitar wireless too. I don't.
Yeah, wireless. Yeah. This is 1999. We have to remember. So.
Still could have been all. What else would have been wireless? Nothing.
Are those cups of water or cups there? Is that what that is behind him?
Those are cups.
Cups for water, I would assume.
Let's just do a frame by frame video analysis, not even listen to the music. Let's just click through the frames and talk about the different things.
I was going to say, to go along with the conversation about arrangements, Michael Kamen used the studio recordings of Metallica songs with a live recording of his orchestra rehearsing arrangements on top of the songs, and that's how he pitched the idea to the band. So at least at its inception, it was just
And he didn't
Let
go
me make
back and redo the
arrangements.
whole thing. Why would you? They were like, "Yeah, that sounds pretty cool."
Yeah, ship it.
That's really interesting. Huh. So that is basically exactly what you were saying, though, like that it's just orchestra laid on the top of the existing songs the way they are. Okay, that's interesting. I do still feel like you can tell when you're listening to these songs when the orchestra is being featured really well. And in those moments are probably the moments where they were like, no, let's alter the arrangement from the original a little bit to just more feature the orchestra. No,
Sure.
Even if it's something as simple as don't have the drums come in for an extra 8 measures or whatever, let the strings do something. We'll extend the song, this section of the song by twice as long.
And I can think of one song in particular that we'll get to that I think is probably the heaviest in terms of alterations and arrangement based on that criteria.
Okay, that's interesting. We'll see
That
if
was
I
quite a
pick it
sentence
up.
there, Chris Parker.
It was.
Alterations based on that criteria.
Good job.
Yeah, big words.
I say the words as they come to me. I don't know.
I did, this is so stupid, but I did that once when we were in class. Chris, do you remember? I said something that sounded super intelligent, and Mr. Beardsley was like
a record scratch. Yeah.
Yeah, it literally was. It literally was. Like, and I can picture exactly where I was sitting, who was sitting in front of me, who was sitting next to me, but what I said made sense contextually too.
That's pretty good for you in an audio class.
I was going to say, for everybody watching this, you're used to me being so articulate and eloquent here on the channel and totally vibing with everything I say. So, but you got to think, when I was little Patrick running around in college, actually, I was probably twice as big as I am now, just this way, But no, I wasn't too fat. My roommate was very fat. He got fat. The
Is this an example of that eloquence?
Yeah. People go to college and they get fat because they're not doing high school sports anymore. They're not the king or prom queen. And so they decide to eat a lot at the cafeteria and then they gain weight and are fat. It's great and wonderful. I was fat before I went to college, though, so I had the benefit of, having a head start on everybody. But what I wasn't fat was fat of the mind. I was a dumb kid, and I was still dumb.
Fat of the mind. See, I think you could go either way on whether or not a person who's fat of the mind is smart or stupid.
You're right, because either it's big.
Do you remember the Bill Nye? Did you guys watch Bill Nye?
Oh, yeah, a little bit, for sure.
Right, and there was the one where, like, the kids that came on was like making a thing about fathead. Like, if somebody calls you a fathead, you should take it as a compliment because your brain is mostly fat. It was like the worst nerdy comeback. I probably used it in school.
Onward.
All right, on to the next one. Okay, I'm very excited. This is great, and I'm so excited. We have so much of the concert left too. All right, we're at 128.30 in 3, 2, 1.
Here's another new one for you. Enjoy.
Okay, no, this is the second new one. Okay, so based on what everyone was saying, this is like minus heaven or minus something or
Minus human.
minus human. Yeah, Godzilla -1. What a lame ass.
Nerd.
Nerd. Nerds. Oh! Holy crap. These guitars are twice as loud as any guitar in the previous song.
Yeah, isn't this whole thing way more compressed than what we just listened to?
Yes, and it must be
Well,
because...
this is another one that made it to radio, so it might end up with the No Leaf Clover treatment.
Right, I wonder if this one was a little bit more post-production done to this.
That spring thing is sweet.
Yeah.
That's super. Look at how funny they think it is to play something so distant.
They're having a
Also,
good
those
time,
strings were mono pan to the right a little bit with a crazy flanging effect on them. That was strange. I think we're just listening to a studio recording now. It's not, though. The drums are the same way they have been.
Yeah, the guitars are way different than what last song.
Yeah.
It's because he's using a different guitar, and that's where the tone comes from.
Sounds phenomenal, though.
I can hear the tone move.
Oh, see that adjustment made on the fly? Oop. Oop. I thought they said it was a female harp player, and unless there could be another harp somewhere else. But they've showed a male harp player multiple times now. I only see one harp there.
Jason's got in-ears. Oh, James does too.
Yeah.
So does Lars.
Should we call that James's Mountain Dew guitar? That was actually what Lars was playing. Yeah. There's like a tone in the middle. It's like a guitar with feedback or something. What's this song about? Breathing air and stuff? I mean... drowning, maybe. Something like that. What a shot that was. Can we get a little closer to you? Covered up fire! Got to appreciate shots like that. This is pretty crushing. No, is that it? Wieners. Yeah, I'm
that was sweet,
pausing
though.
it. The whole song was awesome, but it just fell a little short.
Where did you pause it?
132.47. 132.47.
I keep sort of just like randomly pausing when you say pause, and I'm always 1 second off.
Hey, that's
Really cool.
Great. Very cool. That felt a little bit to me like that could exist definitely on the same album with Devil's Dance, right? That like it had that kind of a same vibe, but it was a little bit more aggressive. That riff was definitely more aggressive. But it was still that sort of slow, trudgy, plodding.
It's a very
feel.
Reload song.
Yes, definitely, very much so. Which is Devil's Dance on Reload, or is it on Load?
Yeah,
it's on Reload.
It's
Okay,
it's Reload. Yeah.
Yep. And Memory Remains totally could fit on there with all of that, which totally makes sense. Makes me wonder, like, did they have the No Leaf Clover and this song Minus Human written before, and then they just took B-sides and added orchestra to them and made them, or did they be like, no, let's write two songs specifically for this?
Well, it's funny you should ask, because the next bullet point in this list says No Leaf Clover and Minus Human were written back in March of 99. Lars said that the songs came together very quickly. However, No Leaf Clover was stored and not worked on since 97. And it didn't make it to Reload because it had a strange vibe with the guitar that didn't fit the tone of the album.
Interesting. Okay, so it sounds like this was a song that was written for this, and No Leaf Clover was written for Reload, right? Is that what you said, Reload or Load?
More or less, yeah, Reload.
Totally makes sense. And them being in this vibe with Load and Reload still, and all the vibe of this show, it fits in there nicely. I really like that song a lot. I don't feel like the orchestra stood out really at all to me in that. It was all the
beginning part was sweet.
It was.
They were hitting all those wood blocks and stuff.
Oh yeah, the very beginning.
Yeah. I would.
I don't think I cared for that
sort
part
of orchestra. Yeah, of course you didn't.
Yeah. Well, it just seemed. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't have any connection to the song really, and it didn't. I don't know. It just seemed like they were messing around.
Show, it doesn't have to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's so funny how often you'll be listening to something and you're like, okay, oh yeah, yes, you know, I didn't really like that part that much.
Well, to me, that song was all about the guitar and like being heavy and like the vibe of that, which was not part of the orchestra. The orchestra was not contributing to that at all.
Right, and when people say that, right, well, like people are gonna like add some orchestra parts to this. Like it's 80% of the time, people are gonna do strings. 20% of the time, you're gonna do big bombastic horns. But like you forget about that. There's all these cool sounds that orchestras can make.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, you're 1,000,000% correct.
Yeah, like if you don't listen to classical music all the time, like you think about strings and horns with orchestra stuff, but like they make all sorts of cool sounds.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about with like the intro had all that, but then the rest of the song was not that.
Well, where are we gonna
that I
put
remember? Like
there was heavy guitars. Where are you gonna put little dinkly do?
Play the dinkly doos with, or play it in the spaces where the guitars aren't playing. I mean, you can do stuff. You can come up with counter melodies, and you play harmonies and stuff and whatnot. You can do it, especially with a simple riff like that. That's just a slow chuggy, like not chuggy, a slow like pretty consistent. There could have been some flitty stuff flying around on top of all that, and there was a little bit, but it wasn't what you were focusing on. I will say the most jarring thing was the tone of the guitars, which completely changed and are completely different from the previous song.
Yeah, the guitars. I mean, like they didn't sound bad before, but those ones sounded.
Yeah, this sounded much.
This like a metal record.
Yes, this sounded much more like what a studio album would sound like, and it totally makes sense because we heard last time "No Leaf Clover" is basically just a studio song.
The vocals were not all wonky though, or I didn't notice them as bad.
This one sounded much more
live,
seamless, I guess, compared to the other one.
Other than the compression thing, you get over pretty quick, but and the guitar tone.
Yeah, and I will also say too, this song did not have like a pleasant chorus. A lot of the songs have like, especially a lot of the songs on Load and Reload, the chorus was where the song would get a little bigger and would be like, that's the part of the song you sing along with. This didn't have a chorus like that. It was a somewhat aggressive chorus, especially with what Jason's background vocals there too. And then he was doing kind of like a whispery thing too. But James's vocals were somewhat aggressive there in a way that he doesn't normally do. So I liked that aspect of it too. It never became like a pleasant sounding thing. It was aggressive the whole time. As aggressive as it got, it was that aggressive almost the entirety of the whole song, minus that intro. So. I like it.
Yeah, the aggression dynamic of that song didn't really change too much.
No, I like it. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go to the next one. I'm at 132.47. We're going to the next song in 3, 2, 1.
Couple new songs for y'all. How you like that?
I liked it. He liked it. Hey, Mikey.
That was called Minus Human. That's slightly heavy,
That's what I said. Slightly heavy.
That's a little good self-deprecating humor for Metallica in 1999.
Slightly heavy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
By the way,
Dude, look at that screen.
thanks for coming out, man.
They're pretty proud of that back then too, I'm sure.
Dude, it's pretty cool.
Feel good we live in this Bay Area, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, Wherever I May Roam. Interesting. So he's playing that on his regular electric guitar, or did he have a special guitar? It's a regular
special sitar version. No, it's got the sitar drone strings on it.
Oh, okay.
It's the one for guitar players.
It sounds like the previous song.
The chord progression on the strings for that. Super dark.
Well, the song has such a sort of Middle Eastern-y, Egyptian-y type of vibe to it. And there's definitely The guitars sound similar to the way they did in the previous song. And the kick drum is loud too. Is Jason gonna do the pre-verse? No. And the road becomes. I thought maybe Jason would do that first part.
I think he just does over at some point.
Is this how the original song is, or are they laying back a lot more here?
I think it might be a touch slower.
Okay.
To pick back up,
Yep.
for sure.
I think that's how the original song goes.
Jason was so cool, man.
This is always
Said
one of the
that 1,000
songs
times, but
I didn't care for as much off of self-titled Black Album. His bass guitar has no definition. It's just round.
Those are cool.
what are those?
Those little quick horn things with the symphony they were doing.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Dude, the brass are really standing out in this song for sure. Ooh. I like that as James' hair becomes a little bit more unkempt as we go on. I like it more like that rather than slicked back. Did I tell you last video that I decided I don't like Kirk's playing?
I don't think so.
Like at all?
Maybe.
I can't remember if I did or not. Well, I don't.
Why?
I don't think I like anything he does. It's just not a style. It's not for me. I definitely like when he's doing the bluesy stuff a little bit more, for sure. Like on Load and Load and Reload. This was done in San Francisco. Is that?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. Do you remember if they downbeat this one, or do they go right into the next song?
I don't remember.
Kind of seeming like it.
Okay, they ended it. Okay, I'm pausing it. In 3, 2, 1. I'm at 1:40:32.
Nice. Nailed it.
Nice. Okay, so that is probably my favorite song on this whole set we've heard so far.
Nice.
And here's the simple reason why. That is not my favorite song off of Black Album. But what they did here was they took a song that I enjoy, but they made it into what I feel they really made the song better here, I think. That's a perfect example of how you can use what they had of the orchestra to really accentuate and make that song a special thing. All the builds, the giant steps that at the end, especially that dun dun dun, like there were multiple times throughout the song where they did that. The verses, especially that first verse where Lars is doing the tom kind of beat, that song was written so that there is more space in the song, right? And so there was a lot more space for the strings and the orchestra to do stuff that really, I feel, really pushed that song into the next stratosphere. Like we were talking last time about how you were saying, and a lot of people were saying too, that some of the definitive versions or the definitive recordings of some of these songs are on this set. And you and a couple people said that about Bleeding Me. And I really, to me so far, Bleeding Me has been the biggest disappointment of the Symphony of Metallica.
Of course it has.
It has, because I just don't think it sounded very good. And I'm basing my opinion mostly on that right now, of listening to it on the CD earlier today. And from what I remember. But on the CD, the mix just really didn't favor Bleeding Me. And it didn't feel as dynamic, on the record. And also I think James's vocal performance is not as good on this in terms of Bleeding Me. He does that thing where I understand it, but like what I was saying earlier in Until It Sleeps, where I was like, don't be lazy with your singing, right? And what I mean by that is finish the line the way you wrote the line for the album. A lot of the times when you're performing live, if you're messing around or joking around or whatever, you just kind of, you don't fully finish the line the way it was written. And I'm not saying it has to be note for note identical or anything like that, but there's this thing singers do live where you just kind of like matter-of-factly like say the last few words of your sentence rather than actually singing them to completion. And I don't personally like, and we should say, I don't know if I said this in the whole first video at all. I don't like live music.
I know.
At all. And so live recordings are a whole interesting thing for me. There's some that I really do enjoy, and I've talked about that, I know, in some of our other Metallica videos, because I've been really excited for us to listen to live Metallica, especially because hearing something like this and the quality of the recording, I want to listen to some recordings that are this recorded this well, but are a regular show without the orchestra. You know what I mean? Because if we had songs from Death Magnetic and Hardwired and 72 Seasons recorded like this quality with this type of a sound, I think that would sound way better than maybe some of those albums. Because I really don't think Death Magnetic sounds good at all. I think it's incredibly thin. And I'm not talking about the overcompressed version. I'm talking about the official iTunes release that we reacted to here on the channel. I just don't like the way Death Magnetic sounds at all. I think Hardwired sounds a little bit better, and I think 72 Seasons sounds better than that, even with the hi-hat. But
I think I think I could go ahead and agree that Hardwired sounds better than Death Magnetic, but that sounds fine.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting mix if you think of the way 72 Seasons sounds. And I think sonically, even though the songs aren't necessarily written that way, I think 72 Seasons sounds sonically closer to Load and Reload than Death Magnetic for sure. And Hardwired is kind of an in-between. It really is an interesting again, sonically, not the way the songs are written. Sonically, it is kind of an in-between Death Magnetic and 72 Seasons. It really is kind of a nice little mix of those two things. Okay, but anyway, to this song, I just think that they really, really did a great job with this of making it more special, you know? And that's what every one of these songs should be. I'm not saying they make them better songs, but every one of these songs should feel, the arrangements with the strings should make it feel like there's an added layer of excitement and special attention that's been put into them with the orchestra to elevate every song. And I don't necessarily feel like, I thought Until It Sleeps was really done really well. It sounded fantastic, but I don't feel like the orchestra elevated that song to another level. Whereas here with Wherever I May Roam brought it up several levels, in my opinion.
Cool.
What do you think, Chris Schoenberg? You
This was Wherever I May Roam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this version.
Yeah.
I don't know that I prefer it over the other
album
one,
version.
but yeah, I don't know.
I know
I've
we
heard a lot
talked
of these songs a lot of times.
we talked about a lot of stuff there.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about, because this one is like, speaking of things that are between things sonically, this one doesn't sound as much studio recorded as the new song,
Right, Minus
Human or whatever I don't ever remember hearing that song before.
Okay.
But then before that, whatever we listened to, which was Until It Sleeps,
No, there was one after
pretty
that.
good for me.
There's somewhere. I think there was one.
Whatever, but like before the new song came on, where
Right.
it was obviously doctored up.
Yes,
a little bit
completely
better.
different.
This,
right.
I don't know. I think that I like the more livey mix where the guitars aren't as good and the drums are back. I think
A
I
little bit
actually
more,
prefer
'cause this-
that
this-
in this setting.
Okay, interesting. I might be there with you because I do feel like it's I don't know, it's interesting because I do feel
It's
like
more
this song was
enveloping.
I could see that. And this song did feel like more like that, more compressed, more studio quality previous song, right? That's what you were saying. This
Yeah, but
Wherever I May
not-
Roam felt closer to in mix wise to Minus Human rather than the one that was before it.
Which I believe was
Yes.
For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Ah, yes, For Whom the Bell Tolls, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one felt like the guitars were lower in the
because
mix.
the guitars,
Drums down to
no definition to the
Yeah.
guitars. They were
low passed.
or little. They were just kind of fuzzy,
Little low
kind
passy,
of
yep.
boys.
Yep, I agree.
But
Onward.
One thing while I'm thinking about it, Chris Schoenberg. Last time when we were having our conversation, I mentioned our top 12 lists, and you started talking about yours, and then I cut you off because I thought that you were talking about something else, and you were going to mention some of the bands that were going to be on your list. Like, you were going to mention several bands that had albums that came out last year that impressed you, and I totally talked over you and didn't realize that that's where you were going with that. So do you want to take the time now to mention one or two bands, or however many?
I don't remember. You know what I did listen to lately ish that was probably from 2024 that I liked? Let me check to see if it was from 2024.
If you're going to say the new Linkin Park album From Zero, you're right. It did come out last year and it was really great. So you're definitely right on that front.
I think we're all pretty confident that's not what he's going to say.
Dude, somebody played Linkin Park at work and I complained.
And you're like, hold on a second. and that person no longer works there.
Yeah.
Or it works
and
anywhere.
then they did it again and like
You're just like,
anyway. The new Snoop Dogg.
oh,
Well,
You know,
that's not what I
and
was good.
I'm gonna be real. That was like it came out really close to the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like nothing else came out that week. Yeah, it was on the 13th of December. Like everybody
Okay.
else had stopped putting out records for the year, and then that came out, which was probably a strategic charts thing. But I love Snoop Dogg. In fact, I recently said in a conversation with some of my other friends that Snoop Dogg is probably the coolest human to ever walk this earth. I'm entitled to my opinions, just like Patrick.
No, I was trying to think of an argument and I couldn't.
I don't think there is one. I think that Snoop Dogg is the coolest.
He's
person that's
legitimately
ever
incredible.
existed.
You're absolutely
He's way
right.
up there. He's way up there.
But I will have to say, and like, I love Doggy Style so much. Like, I used to
Don't
just
clip
put
that
that
out of
whole
context.
album on. Do it.
Do it.
I love Doggy Style so much.
I love Doggy Style so much.
I love Doggy Style so much. I love Doggy Style so much.
And then, but a lot of the stuff between then and now, it just like isn't interesting to me. Like, there are a few here and there that are cool. Not that I've given it a whole lot of time, but I did this and I listened to it a couple times, and the whole time, like, I think it sounds good. I think that it's really, God, here's me talking about lyrics, but it's Snoop Dogg, so it's different. Like, Broman's pretty old and he still has cool stuff to say. And like, some of the lines that come out of his mouth, like, I don't know what a lot of them mean, but they're still like the coolest thing anybody's ever said. But there's some really cool ones on this record, and like, it does the thing that I like. It's more of the boom bap rap stuff that I enjoy. I thought, but I don't know. There's one out of left field.
No, that's cool. That's
you guys
great.
weren't expecting me to say that. about
No,
Snoop
I was
Dogg.
not.
But the whole
No.
time I'm listening to it, and a lot of it lyrically. I'm giving a Snoop Dogg record review on this channel, and I'm going to talk about lyrics here. I'm going to double down on talking about lyrics, which is not me. But it's rap music, so I think I get a little bit of a pass.
That's all it is.
A lot of it is like, and at least Dr. Dre is credited, I think, on all of the songs. And so like, a lot of it is them talking about how they've been doing this stuff together forever, and like how whatever, that kind of thing. And the whole time I'm listening to it, and I'm like laughing out loud at these like clever, cool ass things that he's saying. But then like, to think that like, this guy commentates on the Olympics, and like, he's talking about killing people in a rap song, and like, that's the coolest. You don't get cooler than that.
It's very cool.
He checks from NBC, like big ones. They flew him to wherever the Olympics were this year, and he hung out there, and like, all this weird crap happens, and then he like drops this awesome.
He's super cool. Like, yeah, he can do anything he wants, and he's just the chillest guy.
And I don't know if you guys. Sorry, I don't know if you. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I have nothing. I'm done.
I saw him. He did a quick, I think, one song at the Game Awards, and he like just came out and he did it, and then he was done, and then he just walked away, and it was the most effortless thing I've ever seen anybody get paid millions of dollars to do.
100%. And it was great because for me with
awesome.
Snoop Dogg. Yeah, for me with Snoop Dogg, seeing him perform, sometimes for me it's really hit or miss, because I don't like how a lot of like rappers, as they get older, they stop actually rapping in their songs and they just kind of start talking slowly, which is kind of strange. You know, they don't have that like flow that they, you know, a lot of people, Common did it, like, you know, Eminem still has his, and I'm not saying they don't or can't or whatever. It's like a conscious thing that they do on purpose. But anyway, at the Game Awards, he really was like, it felt like a more old school song, which is very cool. But I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Snoop Dogg had like an exclusive deal with Walmart over the winter. Of
course he did.
And like, you could go to Walmart and buy all these like crazy Christmas ornaments that were Snoop Dogg ornaments with like Snoop Dogg the dog from all of the cover of all of his albums, the dog with like the sunglasses. It kind of looked like Scooby-Doo. You could buy that dog like laying on a red ball for your ornament. You could buy Snoop Dogg's head to put on the top of your tree. And just last week, I have one upstairs right now I bought it for my nephew because they only had a large. They didn't have an extra large, or I would have bought it for myself. I bought Snoop Dogg plaid pajamas, and it says Doggy Time on the back. Like, it was on clearance for $5 at Walmart, but I would have probably bought it for $10. But like,
I've had Snoop Dogg's wine.
That's the level the man has reached. You can go buy his pajamas at Walmart. He's commentating. He got flown to do the Olympics. Absolutely. He does game awards. He's a famous rapper, although you would never necessarily know that from all the other things. Martha Stewart's his like best friend on the whole planet. You know, he's just you're right, Chris. Like, it would be tough to find a dude that's cooler than him. And he should be Times Person of the Year.
Of the millennium.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Also, I probably mentioned this. There was a record by this band called Demiser that I really liked.
Oh, you have not mentioned that to me.
I thought I did on the channel.
I don't think so.
That was probably when you were talking over me. Probably couldn't hear me.
Could have been.
I'm just looking through what I listened to, and I did not listen to much new music.
Did you listen to the new Opeth album?
Oh, I did.
Only because,
We're
and I
gonna
only
talk about that.
I only ask because I haven't
liked
heard it yet, but a lot of people were talking about it as being one of the best albums of the year. So that's all.
I think maybe I get if that's in line with what they do. I think maybe now I understand why people like Opeth.
Well, they're one of those bands, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they really have they have sections of their career where they did like the gothic like metal stuff for like a decade, and then they did like black metal for a decade, and then they did progressive metal for a decade, and they have these long stretches of their career where they do different styles. And I think where they're at now is they kind of put all that stuff together. I could be totally wrong.
I listened to the whole thing on purpose, and then I actually went back and listened, not specifically because all the songs are just like there's a symbol and then a number, I think, are what all the songs are titled. Like, they don't have
That's interesting.
word names, so I didn't remember. But I listened to a couple more songs. I'm like, yeah, I liked it.
Okay, that's cool. I'm happy. Were they screaming in the song? I haven't heard any of it, but were they screaming in the songs, or was it all clean vocals?
Good Lord. Like, I'm supposed to remember the stuff that I listened. I think I'm doing good when I'm like, I listened to that twice.
And then
I think it was mostly singing, as far as I recall.
Okay. Yeah. Because I know they have like people have really requested us to listen to Opeth on the channel before, and a lot of people have said I know they had an era that was very gothic-y, like with like long songs, like gothic progressive, where there was no screaming whatsoever. And then I also know they have albums where there's no singing whatsoever. So we would have to definitely pick our albums very carefully. But I know people regarded that album very highly last year. So
I don't know. I don't like do the list thing. I probably did listen to a lot of new music.
Yeah.
Not much of it like is my favorite kind of stuff.
I just felt bad because when we brought it up last week, and then I started talking about something else, and you were like, oh, well, I guess we can talk about it later or something. And I felt bad because I thought you were done talking about it, but it seemed like you were going to talk more about something, and I just didn't pick up on it. I missed the cue. So
whatever.
Yep. All right. On to the next track. I'm at 140.32.
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1. Okay, you've got a sweaty face. Uh-oh. Okay, this sounds familiar, but I don't know it. It's not Ronnie, I don't think.
Nope, not Ronnie.
Damn it, I want Ronnie. I want to see what Kirk is doing. Is that like a slide with a wah? Okay, it's a sweep of the guitar. Someone hitting a tin can on the left side there.
It's like a dulcimer, maybe.
Something, yeah. Is that like camouflage imaging on the screen back there? Looked like camouflage.
Maybe. You should know the song by now.
I don't. I have to hear the words. I know it's on Load or Reload. I'm terrible, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
This is nice when the guitars go away for a minute.
Including me part 2.
Wait, Unforgiven? No.
No. Outlaw Torn.
Oh, the final song. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. See, I never get this far on the album.
There's almost tone in that bass.
Well, now you can
really
you
is
can
just
hear it
like-
now because the guitars aren't playing, which is nice. Ooh, that was nice. Oh, I love just holding out the one chord, letting it dissipate. Ooh, sing it, James. What the streaker? They let, they let that guy up there?
I don't think anybody let him do anything.
That
He just
had to have
happened.
been that had to have been planned, right?
No way. Still a concert.
That guy died. He broke his neck, and that was the last we ever heard of him. I'm surprised some orchestra member didn't go. They're fearing for their lives right now.
that single trumpet. On the right.
Muted trumpet, yeah.
Yeah, there's that one.
The more I search, the more my need.
You can hear the crowd a little bit too, which is nice. On the CD, they take the crowd away completely during the songs. Unless there's like shouts or something. I really feel like the strings are doing a lot here. The orchestra's doing a lot. Lars is quite close to the conductor. He's like literally sitting right next to him.
Yeah.
Whose picture is that on the bass? Was that the bass, or was it a guitar?
That's Kirk's guitar. I can't remember who that is.
Not the creature from the Black Lagoon one.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
No, it wasn't. I don't think so. It looked like a bald guy, not the creature. Dude, speaking of...
Don't do it. The song is definitely the most, like, just really open, meandering song they have.
Yeah.
And it's prime picking
For the orchestra, 100%. I saw on YouTube the other day someone uploaded every James guitar solo in every Metallica song, and it was less than 9 minutes long.
That's fine. Yeah.
No, there should have been more, is what I'm saying. Ooh, those low strings. With the harp. Godsmack.
Nope.
Someone commented the other day I love the way Chris looks at Patrick every time he mentions Godsmack is why I come back to these videos. That's kind of an awkward way to enter back into it, but kind of felt like Kirk was in the middle of something there, and they just started singing, and he's like, okay, I'll stop. So cool.
You would like that riff.
Well, and I just like the fact that Kirk is doing something that's not, hey, look at me. I'm basically just doing a percussive thing off to the side. Once a measure. But Chris, you know I like my mid-range to low-range guitar, lead guitar stuff.
I'm here for all of this, man. This is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is one of your favorite Metallica songs, I think. So that's awesome that they did this on here. It makes sense. Dude, Lars is pretty awesome.
I know, man.
If
He's a crummy little troll, but
if this is what he was actually playing and on time and stuff, and without being fixed too much, then it's phenomenal.
I mean,
Even if it was fixed a little bit, for sure. Gong. Oh, he missed a note. Fire him.
Who?
James.
Oh.
Look at the two bass players rocking out. One of them was cool, and the other one was Jason. Dude, yes. This is another song that was elevated. I've always had a little trouble with that song. A little bit boring to me on the album, especially after such a long album. Fantastic. I don't like it as much as Wherever I May Roam to me was brought up notches. This may be like one notch, maybe two. All right, I'm going to pause it. 3, 2, 1. 150.34.
Hey.
Okay, great. That was awesome. I thought of something and I wrote it down, but it's not necessarily related to the song so much. So do you guys want to talk about the song a little bit? Chris Schoenberg, how do you feel about that? Because I know that's not necessarily your style of Metallica song there.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Okay.
I'm not like gonna go listen to Load or Reload, but I think it works for this. I guess the thing that I was thinking about with this, and Patrick, while he's talking over the songs constantly,
I'm not as much.
I know you're not. I'm
okay.
Just making a joke. But like, you're very perceptive of like the little textural things that the orchestra does, and like I guess I hear them and I just kind of, they're like in one ear and out the other. I guess that's kind of what I was saying about like, this is not a good example of that because this one was arranged well. There's cool parts and stuff, but like when you hear like two harp notes or like a little squeak of a muted trumpet or something, like I guess that's cool, but I don't really care that much about that. I like it when the orchestra plays the riffs. That's kind of what I was saying with like the,
okay,
you know,
yeah,
like
no, I do know what you mean.
The textural stuff is kind of neat, and I guess that you could
That's definitely Patrick's bread and butter.
Like that kind of thing could be thrown into more regular songs, like whatever, that why not use different sounds for stuff. But yeah, I guess that's what I was saying, that I don't latch on to that.
Chris Schoenberg has discovered musical sprinkles. He's
Yeah, your favorite thing.
finally heard what we've talked about for 15 years.
I don't think I've ever heard you guys say that word before.
I have
my
never
God.
said that word.
We talk about it all the time.
Musical sprinkles has never been what it's called.
I talk about it all the time. Do not make me go back and look at all of our videos and find the times I mentioned musical sprinkles.
I can't wait for you to find it.
No, it's there. But anyway, I know I talked about it a lot in the music room. We had a whole episode based on it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. See, like to me, that is when the orchestra is doing the most important thing it can do, which is the textural stuff and the moments where it's doing something that the rest of the song couldn't do without it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When it's just doubling things, or like you said, playing the riffs and stuff when the guitar's not, and then they have it done on the strings or whatever, or the strings are doing it an octave up or an octave low or whatever. That stuff is really cool too. But when it's doing the things that are more than just like a synth pad, basically, under the entire thing, that's when it's doing the special stuff.
Wait, you like it when it's doing the synth pad?
I like that too, but the more special thing is when it's doing the textural, like, flourishes and things, like the in between things, rather than just the, like, look at me, I'm the string. You know what I mean? Like, it's the special stuff that's just sprinkled on the top of the band being the band, which is why I call it musical sprinkles. But and we talk about it in all of our other videos in reference to that's why a band should always have a keyboard player, because then you have access to every sound on earth that you can use in your songs, and it doesn't have to be a lead focal instrument. You know what I mean? You can have a person who just sits there and creates textures and synth beds and pads and creating a vibe that the rock part or the metal part sits on top of, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, almost all of the bands that I like have that in them. And that's why I find bands that don't have that kind of stuff, it's harder for me to get into them, which is one of the reasons I never got into Metallica, because they don't use musical sprinkles. That's why I was going to talk about this at the end. We can talk about it a little bit now, but like on paper, this should definitely be my favorite Metallica thing. This whole concept of this concert, because you're taking guitar, bass, drums, vocals, and you're adding like 100 instruments on top of it, doing all this really cool stuff that's accentuating the music, or that's accenting the music, that is, just layering. They're doing more background vocals than they normally do, although there is quite a bit on Load and Reload, and all of which James did, none of which, as far as I know, on the recording that any other band member did. I think it's just James doing them, the background and harmony vocals on Load and Reload, and on Black Album as well. So this should be like my favorite Metallica stuff, because this is what I've basically been complaining about on every one of their albums before this. Like, it's just the same thing over and over with different guitar riffs, different patterns of guitar chunkies, whereas this is all this layering and texturing and the sprinkles and counter melodies and rhythms and things that are all fitting in with the already established song, just adding more on top of it, which is something that I always say I like a lot more. And so I definitely want to let everybody know that I appreciate that aspect of this a lot, but because we've been focusing so hard in all of these reactions on just the guitar, bass, drums, vocals, it's almost like somewhat of a shock to hear all this other stuff with them. And that's why I'm kind of like, how did this even happen? Like, how could they let this happen to their precious guitar, bass, drums, vocals? You know what I mean? How could Kirk be okay just standing off to the side going,
well, but I think that's why it was a big deal, and I think that's why it was marketable, because it's like, oh, what are they gonna do? Like, how is this gonna work?
Right, and then the thing is, they hid from this. They have not gone back to this. After this album, there is not one, maybe in The End That Never Comes, there are no background vocals or harmony vocals or dubs on Death Magnetic. None.
Right.
There's none on Saint Anger. There's maybe a little bit on Hardwired, and then finally we're back to using them on 72 Seasons. And so they and we talked about this. People were mad. People didn't like Metallica as much in the 90s, the hardcore people. But we also have talked about how that was when they became the most popular because their songs were the most accessible. So after doing this thing that we're experiencing right now, they ran in the opposite direction. And I don't know if it's because this was a good experience for them and they felt satisfied with this, or because it wasn't a good experience for them and they completely wanted to change it.
I think everything they did after this has nothing to do with this.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
it doesn't matter what kind of experience this was. Like, the band was inches from breaking up. Then they did. Then there was a whole rehab therapy thing. Then they had a new band member. Then they switched producers for the first time in their entire career. Like, all these things happened because they were just in a really tumultuous period of time. And I suspect if you said, "Hey, did you do any of this because of how you felt about S&M?" They'd be like, "What? Who are you? Who let you in here?"
Oh, I don't necessarily think that. Maybe some of that was caused by how they felt about doing this.
I feel like if it was that tumultuous, it wouldn't have happened.
That's why I'm surprised it did. And I don't know. I'm not the expert in any of this. None of us really are. I'm just saying, like, this whole thing just seems so out of character for Metallica. If you're thinking about the Metallica that was in the 80s and since 2001. But there's that whole decade in the 90s where they were like, okay, let's just try to let's try to.
They were doing
money.
all kinds of new stuff, wild things then. Right.
And that's what I like that stuff. I like all that stuff. That's my favorite Metallica stuff. And then but my point is, especially with Death Magnetic, Saint Anger is its whole thing. But then with Death Magnetic, which was supposed to be their return to form album. Like that is as far from this as humanly possible. And so I like this way better, is what I'm saying.
I don't know how to feel about that statement.
I mean, Death Magnetic, Chris had a good way to, or no, I said it and then Chris got mad at me. That's what it was. Death Magnetic sounds like a very generic metal album, sonically. Like,
I don't understand that.
There's nothing special about the way it's mixed. The guitars, the drums, the bass, the vocals are all mediocre, middle of the road metal album sound. Now it's Metallica writing Metallica riffs and playing Metallica performance and James singing James vocals with no overdubs. And so that makes it a Metallica album, but the sound of it is incredibly uninteresting. And again, I'm talking about the iTunes version, the uncompressed version.
Yeah.
The compressed version is different.
It is interesting. I don't know. I have been called out on this repeatedly, especially by one person who is not on this video chat right now. But I mean, I don't like interesting mixes. I don't think I would say that about myself, but it's been called out and I realize how I mix and I try to, I don't know. I like the parts being the parts.
I think I'm with you. I don't know if I can, off the top of my head, like, what is an interesting mix?
Because because a lot of times people try and they fail miserably because all they do is they pan a delay back and forth from left to right or back and like,
yeah, cool, I see. Oh, I think I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know Patrick's not talking about that because
I know, but I just
probably does like it when the vocals go back and forth.
Helps gives me a little context for what an interesting mix is. It just has other things happening in it other than what's happening.
I think what Patrick's talking about is like where you like let something be a little bit. Like Saint Anger, for example, is extremely interesting in that regard because they just let bad stuff be bad and they just doubled down on it. They're like, "Yep, this snare sounds like crap." But I had something else that was more interesting than that. I don't remember though. I don't know. This is a good thing to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm loving it.
It's fine.
All right, let's go on.
Let's keep doing it.
Let's go on to the next one. Okay. Again, I'm at 150.34 in 3, 2, 1.
As soon as we start, I remember
The what?
Mike is just
Yeah,
silent.
that was very strange what happened there. Chris, say something, Schoenberg.
Hey, check 1, 2.
Oh, you're fine.
Got a few more. You ready?
That was very. I wasn't
Your
looking.
guys' audio has been weird for
Are
me
you sure?
too.
Okay. Probably just video then.
I think we gotta play something.
Is he
heavy
to
now.
the left a little bit?
Right.
That was all warm up stuff.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the right.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
a
a little.
smidge.
And Jason, when he sings, he's a little bit to the left, like 10.
Yes, I was hoping they'd do this one, but I did not honestly know if they would.
I don't like the harmony in the orchestra.
This is Sabbath Truth. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, American Badass by Kid Rock.
Can we kick him out of this call?
Just be happy I'm not singing the Kid Rock verse.
I will maintain happiness
As long
you're
as
right.
that's not happening.
as long as that's not happening.
Oops, sorry.
Was Metallica using in-ears all the time in this period?
I-
I'm curious about that.
Oh, that's a good question.
Somebody tell me down in the comments.
Does that surprise you? Like,
It would surprise me if they were using in-ears. Yeah.
okay.
I probably said this already, but that's my favorite guitar of his, that black diamond plate.
Oh, you didn't say that. That's cool, though. Man, he is so good. This is mixed the way those other songs were mixed. It's not the same as the previous one. This is mixed the way the Minus Human and Wherever I May Roam was.
Yeah, it's like, well, well, so much more, like, guitars are more important, I think, in this ultimately.
Yeah, there's
Like,
less
they know
low.
the mix is different.
Yeah, there's a little less low pass filter on them. And I'm not saying either is bad or worse.
Right, just different.
Yeah.
Changing. That delay
Yeah.
switches sides.
Yeah.
Those are an interesting mix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cheesy.
It is a little cheesy for sure. I'll bet if that was done live, I think that could be cool. Ooh, that was interesting. A little extra.
Oh, yeah, that was like 4 times as fast.
Yeah, that was strange. Oh, he was. I can't stand up yet. Nope. Now Kid Rock comes out on stage and sings with them for a while.
Shut up. Stop reminding me of him.
We're gonna do a whole Kid Rock reaction.
You can.
I want to. If you heard his first album, you wouldn't even know it was him from like 1986 or whatever.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
I love how
Everything.
much Jason mean modes. Like, he just makes himself the ugliest person on earth.
Well, I was gonna say, it seems like everything is so effortless for everyone except Jason. It seems like he has to try
just-
really hard.
Yeah, deeply impained by what he's doing.
Yeah, yes.
not a fan of the video effects during the live performance.
Yeah.
Like having the delay pan back and forth between your ears.
Okay. It does seem very post-processing thing.
I do really think this is the first time that he like made a distinct shift in how he does his work. This is all so much more sing-songy than anything else before this.
Should we just go right into the next song?
Yeah,
Yes.
for real.
I think that's my favorite version of that song.
Interesting.
Oh, here we go. It's time.
Good Lord.
Don't do it with the video. Just show me that you got the strobe lights on in the venue.
It's honestly in the venue.
Holy!
It's such a
oh
cool
no!
place to be when
Wait,
they do
no.
this, 'cause
Is
it's
this
just Warzone stuff?
is
It's
this
so
one?
great.
Is this one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
of course it
I've
is.
seen it too. I saw it on the Death Magnet
Yeah.
tour, and it looked cool. But
Okay.
like, I don't need the video post process.
Oh, not at all. All of that was done.
Okay, we'll see if they can fix. We'll see if they can fix the atrocity that is this song.
You're such a piece of garbage. Every time you talk about this song, it gets worse and worse and worse.
No. Yes, this
The
song
first time
gets
you
worse
heard
and
it,
worse and worse.
You were like at least reasonably like into it, and now you're just like, I've never heard anything so awful in my entire life.
Well, you know,
I've wasted so much time just thinking about this song as a waste of my time.
Well, we'll see if they can redeem themselves here. Don't cheer. Don't cheer. No one. People cry when they watch the music video for this song
How
on
much
YouTube.
did that guy turn the butane up on his?
I was gonna say that
Like,
lighter's
4
got
inches
10 feet of
long.
range
Dang.
on it.
Holy crap! The orchestra's like, whoa, back off! Back off, man! Back off! I actually forgot about that this could have been an option for this. Totally makes sense. Oh, my brothers, I will go there. Maybe Jason will do some cool background vocals in this. That would be really cool. Whoa. What was that note? They're extending this a little long too, I think, right? That's cool.
Nope.
No?
Yeah.
This is a very Kaiser's Orchestra guitar part, where it sounds like the guitars are doing completely separate songs on each side. But it somehow works really well together. Okay, Lars, settle down, buddy. Like, this part does not call for that triplet on the kick drum.
You want to write it?
Slow enough that he can do it. So
Yeah,
Why not?
yeah, I mean, yeah. Ooh, that harp.
Little harp
The
fliz
harp
there.
flourish.
Yeah.
Shoot. Best song Metallica ever did. Just add a harp flourish and you got it fixed. He looks like a little 12-year-old boy. Lars, when you can't see his face, it's just in the dark.
He is way to the right.
On
Yeah,
this one he
more.
is. I don't think it was it like that the whole song?
I think he was at like 10, and now he's at like 20 or 30.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay.
I want to say he's at like.
No, he's at 20 for sure.
Yeah, I'll go with 20. It is more.
I really do think that's one of the worst choruses of all time. Like, all joking and kidding aside, it's awful.
Why? Because it's so short.
No, it's just jarring. Which I suppose is the point of it from a metaphorical standpoint. It's supposed to be. Don't have a light on his hands when he's playing cool stuff, you dumbasses. Put a light on him. I want to see his hands. You dummies.
It's dark and moody now.
Okay, they have the opportunity coming up here to be the heaviest they've ever been. Chris, I can't wait to hear Lars's kick drums. I cannot wait to hear this.
I bet it's good.
I'll bet it's quantized. It is
pretty good. It's not perfect.
Yeah, it is cool though how it starts before the. Yeah, this is neat. Okay. The orchestra should have shut up for a second here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Are they gonna do it just guitars?
Yeah, they better.
Huh.
This is how that Nightwish DVD is edited the entire concert.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's awful. It's almost unwatchable.
The fast cuts I don't mind. I'm cool with
yeah,
that. But the semi-transparency overlay,
the fading, yeah.
I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that part.
Wow, this is cool.
Going nuts on that harp.
No wah, and it's so much better. Because you can actually focus on playing notes rather than just doing the correct timing of the wah pedal. Ooh, that was neat. A little descending stuff. This is awesome. This is really cool. Just extending the song. Ooh.
That's sweet too.
Oh.
We're not extending the song, man. It's called the same.
Well, it feels like it is. There's just a lot more layers. See, this is nice.
Why did the orchestra guy need to hit the cymbal? Like, there are plenty of cymbals, boys.
Hey, someone posted in our Discord today. I'll tell you when this is over. Huh. Okay, I'm going to pause it. 3, 2, 1. 2:04:43. Okay, that could have been worse. But what I was going to say was, someone posted in our Discord today a version of this whole concert with, it says what the actual audio that was recorded on the day was, unedited, unmixed audio. And I don't know if it was someone from the crowd or what. It sounded like a better recording than just a phone, like some sort of a recording device in the crowd in 1999, because you got to think 1999 they didn't have recording technology like we do in our phones now. You know, you would have some kind of a digital camera or some kind of a portable recording device. But I clicked on it to listen to it, and I just watched in the first, I went to like minute 17 or something, and I don't remember which song, or it was Of Wolf and Man, I think, or maybe the song after that. And it was really interesting to hear. Maybe when we probably won't have time after this, but I don't know. Have you either of you guys ever heard of that or seen that there's like an unmixed version of this concert audio
No,
out there?
Unaware of that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounded more like just if you were in the crowd, like you could barely hear the orchestra at all. And James's vocals and everything sounded like they were coming over a PA. So it probably was recorded somehow from the crowd, but it was better sounding than I would think a recording from the crowd could sound at the time. So I'm not sure what it was, but someone did post that in our Discord. So if you want to hear what that is, go to our Discord, and I don't know how the heck you would find that link, but ask someone and they'll repost it. Yeah, I don't know what you guys want me to say. That song is, I think I like, we've talked about it a lot, and Chris and I did that video that I posted like literally as I was on our way to my way to the hospital after I found out I had cancer. We did a video where we just talked about that song for an hour, and we broke down the lyrics. We did everything. Like, we talked about the story of it. We did everything. And I just feel like the chorus is awkward, and I don't like it. The chorus part. I think that after the double bass starts, the rest of the song is cool. And I even like, I really don't like the way any of the clean guitars that sound in any Metallica song until the Black Album. So I don't like the tone of the clean guitars on anything that they did before the Black Album. I don't think, off the top of my head. And so the whole beginning part of this song, on the album at least, I don't care for the tone of the guitar. Yeah. It's like too spanky, I think. It should have been done with like an acoustic guitar, or the electric guitar shouldn't have been played as hard. It should have been more gently played. And then, yeah, the way it just transitions into the chorus feels like abrupt to me, and I don't like it. I don't like the way it feels. And now, again, I'm sure that you could say, well, it's supposed to feel that way. It represents this, and the guy's trapped in his own body, and it's supposed to feel abrupt.
I don't know how often bands write music in that kind of way, but
I don't know.
And I mean, it's not the strangest.
Analyze it like that, though.
Yeah, they really do. It's not a difficult mindset. It's not hard for me to figure out how you're getting to a place of the chorus is a jarring thing. You're right. It totally is. It's not
a problem for you.
Chorus to start.
Yeah.
What's the chorus of that song?
Hold my breath as I wish for death.
Yeah, and it just is like and then right into that. It doesn't have like this, kind of set up and lead in or whatever.
It's not like pleasing to hear at all. Right.
Hey, I don't hate this song. It's definitely not my favorite Metallica song.
Same.
Any version. But that guitar thing that they did in the middle of the fast part, my biggest arrangement beef would be like Patrick was going to say, I was going to wait till the song was over. But the fact that they didn't let that just be guitars for at least 2 times, 2 might have been the right amount. It was either 2 or 4 times through that would have been before the orchestra comes in. And then right.
Well, what they should have done was just the guitars and drum and bass, the da 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 da, right, and then the strings should have come in, ba da 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 ba da da da, and built up, and then gone into the
orchestra part that they use during that is just not that interesting. It's just
right. That is the whole point of the whole song
is to get to that part.
Is when it goes to bit.
And
but the little or whatever was probably harmonized. Whatever, that little guitar thing when they were both playing lead, that was really cool.
That was awesome.
That sounded great.
Yeah. Okay, so on a completely unrelated note, I was going to mention this last time, but we talked about something else for a while. I went to the movie theater and saw a movie for the first time in over a year and a half. And I just have to say, right here, Nosferatu is fucking awesome. And that's awesome. All that needs to be said about that.
It is excellent. Robert Eggers killing it, doing his best work.
No wrong.
Except for the Northman.
And even that, I watched that again the other day, Chris. The first hour of that movie is, it's brilliant. And then
but I didn't miss much when I stopped watching halfway through.
Well, the final fight scene I really do like that movie too. I like that, even though I do agree that is his weakest movie, it's still better than so many other movies.
So many things, yeah.
But Nosferatu
kills it.
Oh my god. I think I've said,
the audio they did for the vocals on that, just like
yes.
you could not have enough speakers in,
oh
in
my,
a building.
Incredible. And
so good.
There was one part when the girl was first slightly, I guess, somewhat spoilers for Nosferatu, a remake of a movie from 105 years ago. The moment when she kind of is possessed for the first time and she does the like flip up on her back thing, which is kind of a cliched thing. Sure. After that, when she like twisted, it's totally all practical. There was a moment during that whole scene, which is really long. Like that is like a 10-minute long scene. It's absurdly long, single take. And the acting in it is phenomenal from the woman. There was a moment during that scene where I was close to tears with how just incredible it was. And I've said before, that's only ever happened to me twice in the movie theater before. Once during the sandstorm during Mad Max Fury Road, which I literally cried in because I've never been so overcome with awe seeing something. And then the other time was in a different movie. And but this movie had moments like that. When he's walking on the path with the trees and the snow is coming down, I'm like, oh my, how do you film something so gorgeous? So
was the other
incredible.
one during Titanic? Because like I didn't think her nipples would be that color either.
I've actually never seen that scene in Titanic because we fast forwarded through the VHS when we got the VHS. I've never seen her boobs in that. So.
Well,
they're burgundy. It's unbelievable.
That's the only part of the VHS that I saw. That part of the tape is like melted and stretched.
Yep, totally. Like, yeah, for sure.
Hey, speaking of movies, let's get back on topic here. I kind of have forgotten for the 18 months that we've been doing this that we could watch through the Nether.
We could.
Absolutely.
I could not possibly have any less of an idea of what on earth that movie's supposed to be.
See, I knew that somebody was going to say that, and it would have to be you, because that was people's complaint. I liked it.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
yeah.
Because
I just the marketing. I was like, what in the world could this be? And then I just never saw it.
That's what a lot of people said after they watched the movie. They're like, what was that? I'm like,
well, that's not good.
No, I think that people were looking for something that's just not.
That it wasn't.
I just don't think it's there. It's just a really cool. It's like if you took a concert movie, but then you had Metallica money and you could just do wild stuff in between songs. Like there's like kind of like a loose, crummy story to it, but like Metallica plays and they built that awesome stage, which is like kind of the star of the show. And then like weird movie stuff happens in between songs. It's like, I went and watched it in the theater. That was the first time I ever bought a movie ticket, like not at the front desk.
Like online?
Like I bought it online and went.
Oh, interesting.
And then
okay.
There was like 6 people in the theater, 2 of which were my brother and I. But they like, it was pretty loud. Like it was cool.
That's awesome. I definitely would do that. 1,000,000%.
Melanie Martinez made K-12, which is it's her second album. And it's all just basically music videos stitched together with a thin sort of plot in between each sort of song that just carries on to the end of the movie. And I saw it in the theater, and it's like, if this is that kind of thing, like I'm down to watch that.
That is. I can't believe you haven't watched that. It's good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It slipped out of my mind.
The stage is crazy. And then they went on.
My mom saw it.
Ended up being the a lot of that was the Death Magnetic stage, I think.
Oh,
so is that that was the question I had, was which album was that released sort of in support of?
I think it was Death Magnetic.
Okay,
or it was right around.
So did they play
time.
some Saint Anger songs on it then?
Yeah, Patrick, I don't remember what song.
Well, no, I just know from
literally do not know the last song that we listened to. Oh, it was one, but...
right? that sounds like a somewhat bigger problem than just. But no. My point though, the reason I asked that specifically was because I know nowadays they don't really play it. I think only Frantic maybe, but they don't play Saint Anger songs very much anymore. And and because people will post on our Discord like, oh, they played one song from Saint Anger in like 2008 in Australia or whatever, and then someone goes and finds a clip of it and they post it, which is like incredible to me that people can find that stuff. But yeah, so I don't know, that's why I was just curious, because Saint Anger songs I think are so cool, and I would love to hear, because someone else also told us that we need to watch the entire live performance that they did in studio of Saint Anger, the DVD that comes with Saint Anger. And I clicked on it and was listening to it, and I was like, why in the hell doesn't the album sound like this? It's way better than the album sounds.
It's good.
But yeah, I would absolutely watch that with you guys too. There's a couple things I've really wanted to watch on the show or on the channel, but one of the things I really want to do, and for the people who know what this is, and we are not going to become a movie, TV show reaction channel. That's too hard for me to edit that crap. I ain't doing it. However, there is a movie and a sequel to which the movie I've never seen, and we have got to watch it here on the channel, and the three of us all have to react to it, because I don't think Chris Schoenberg has seen it yet, and it would be your favorite movie ever. It's maybe in my top 10. Have you seen the movie yet, Chris, called Heavy Trip? It's on Netflix.
Never heard of it.
Oh my God. It is, don't even look, whatever, just forget I said it. We're going to react to it sometime. Maybe when I'm in the hospital, that's something we can just do for fun. We don't have to mess around with it at all. But we can we'd have to find a way for us to all be able to watch it on our own ends. Let me know if anyone has an idea of how we can do that. Anyway, sorry. One sucks. Let's move on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm at 2:04:43. In 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
Oh, they're going to do their encore? Or this is their, we're done. Like you would end on such a crappy song as that. Imagine they just walk off the stage and that was it.
You guys need one more right now?
I'm really curious, and I'm honest about this. Are they going to play Enter Sandman? I'm really curious about that. Because I would think that they would have to play Fade to Black. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
There's your answer.
Well, you answered my question, Metallica. Good job. And it wasn't a stupid encore thing. That was it.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. Okay.
Well, you can't walk 120 people off stage and back on.
No, for sure.
And like, they might have to get paid more for that. I think that might be a thing.
Honestly, you're absolutely right. Okay. That riff is barely existing on the left.
Yeah, barely there.
I don't know. It's enough. I kind of actually like that.
Yeah, I wasn't complaining. It's much more present now.
Another harp flourish. Love that.
Oh yeah. It must just be that harp guy. I don't know why I thought it was a woman, but just that dude.
I thought I saw a woman earlier.
Okay, maybe there's multiple ones that for each different song, or not every song, but like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's really cool.
See, that's the part the audience should have sang.
That was not live vocals.
No?
No. That was bad sync. That's why the shot was in the back of his head.
Okay.
James's body was designed to look as cool as possible playing guitar.
Good job, Jason.
Jason's fine with that.
See, I feel like the "We're Off to Never Neverland" part should be what the crowd was screamed, not the part that they did. Enter Night.
That string thing is cool too.
Yes. The strings have
Like
been
the whip
awesome
with
this whole
different
song.
notes. Yeah.
Hey, they're using tracks. Metallica's not a real metal band. Oh, you know what also I want them to play? I just thought of this. I really want them to play Seek and Destroy. But I don't think they're going to. But I really would. That would be awesome with the orchestra. I was trying to think. I was like, they should play one off of Kill 'Em All. And I know they ain't going to play Whiplash. And I don't even remember any of the other ones. Oh, Seek and Destroy. And I was like, oh, they should absolutely do that. Plus, I love that song. And it is recorded so terribly on Kill 'Em All. There's got to be like a better recorded version of that out there. I've heard that one that was Sting's song. Is this going into the next song?
It seems like it.
Well, we'll keep going. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Well, we're continuing whatever this is. Jason's like, more. But then everyone shuts up. You don't conduct Metallica. Yeah, I was going to say, we're still in Enter Sandman, aren't we? I knew it. You know what? I'm really okay with the fact that the screen behind him is somewhat small, right? Because nowadays I feel like that entire frickin' wall would just be a giant screen of LEDs with a million things on it the whole time.
Indeed, I would love that.
Yeah, I agree that that's cool to an extent as well, but there is something cool to just the fact that there's like curtains behind them too, you know?
Yeah.
It makes it feel a little bit more organic and old school, honestly. The lack of LEDs. I was talking to someone the other day and I was like, one of us mentioned, it was me because I'm right. The invention of the LED is like one of the most impactful things on the history of humankind.
Correct.
I mean, absolutely everything has been affected by that. I'm okay with them spending all this time on this song, which, I mean, of course, but I'm okay with it. Also, I like the fact that the song ends. Chris, can you see how many more songs we have?
Yeah, that's not many.
Is it one or two? Or do you not want me to know?
Yeah. I don't know yet.
Okay.
Let me look.
Ooh, cool. Loved it. Love that ending.
Thank you very much, fans.
One more.
One more?
Felt good, man.
Okay,
Thanks for coming
let's
down
pause
here,
then.
man, making us feel
I'm
good.
going to pause in 1, 2, 3. 2, 12, 15.
Hey, me too.
Nailed it.
That was fantastic. It's exactly what it needed to be. I'm really sure that it is not going to be Seek and Destroy, the last song. I don't know what it could be, though. Is there like a really obvious one that I'm forgetting that's like a huge... Oh, Unforgiven. Unforgiven is going to be what it is. That's my guess. That was really cool. The strings, the orchestra was very present that entire time in the mix. There was a lot going on there. And I think it made sense what was happening. It didn't feel like something just tacked onto it. It really made the song feel more epic. Like it felt like we went from rock album to like movie trailer soundtrack with that one. And I haven't really felt that way this entire time, you know? So that was great. I thought the song felt a smidge fast, which is interesting.
They do that sometimes.
And I know people have said that they play a lot of their songs much faster live than they do, you know, and this is a controlled tempo, you know, it's not like they're choosing to play it a lot faster here. So I thought it could.
Is it to a click because of all the pre-recorded stuff in the middle?
I'm just gotta be.
And then it sounded like even after
Good
the
point.
little kid part that like there was some James background. I think maybe it was Jason. I don't know. But
I
like
think every song was to a click. You don't think so? I would
Tell me if you think the next song sounds faster than it does on the album.
Okay.
At least one person in here will be very familiar with that.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I don't have too much else to say about that. That was epic. It's like literally one of the most popular songs on the planet. So
I wouldn't be surprised if this was the first one that conductor dude whose name is escaping me.
Kamen.
Michael Kamen.
Yeah.
Did.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that you said he took existing orchestral stuff and put it over their songs to like pitch the project to them.
It says with live recordings of his orchestra rehearsing arrangements on top of their songs. Arrangements of what? I'm not sure.
Okay,
Maybe
so
they were it sounds like they were the arrangements of this.
to this. Yeah, that's what I would think.
Because he could have
really
said,
cool though, because like if he was like after regular band practice that he was like, hey guys, I've been working on this Metallica thing. I'm going to show them. Can I get like 10 of you to stick around and like play this stupid metal music? Like that's
really cool.
Because he could do it entirely without them.
I was going to say, what if they said no?
Working on.
Yeah, that's really cool that he did that. That just shows you how cool that dude is, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and that his band guys were like cool enough to hang around.
Yeah,
you know, they didn't get paid to make those demos.
I'm sure not. Yeah. No, which is really different for professional musicians. So yeah, for sure. Is there anything else from that long thing that he wrote that we should mention, Chris, before we get to the last song here?
It says Lars was inspired in comparing this event with what Deep Purple did in 1969.
I just read about that today.
Big fan of Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Also, Lars says that Cliff would have been the first of the members to jump into this train because he actually studied music and brought rock, southern rock, and classical music to the band. And there are a lot of songs that do have a lot of inspiration in classical music, particularly in the intros and bridges of some songs like Fight Fire with Fire, Damage Inc., Master of Puppets, and Orion, among others.
Yep. That was something that people were commenting on the first one, that Cliff was the one that was very into classical music and that he brought the music theory to the band a little bit early on, more so than the other guys did.
Yeah.
We still get tons of people defending Dave Mustaine in all of our Metallica video comments. Like, you don't even know how many parts they're playing that Dave Mustaine wrote. And I'm like, okay.
I like how you are pronouncing his name wrong. That really makes me laugh.
Dave Mustaine? What is it? Dave Mustaine?
I mean, it's mostly an emphasis situation.
It's an emphasis.
Yeah, it is
Dave Mustaine. Dave Mustaine.
That's even more so. I don't care what I really
Dave
Mustaine at all.
No, that's I was going to say. It's just those people are just proof that there's somebody for everything. But what a shame if they're in that camp.
Well, nobody that likes Megadeth is stuck around this long anyway.
No way.
Yeah. Did Megadeth ever do anything with an orchestra? That one guy in our comments.
Oh, did you see the thing where Dave plays with an orchestra? It's just him.
I've heard someone mention that in our stuff.
It is so bad. It is ridiculous.
I will say, I have to bring this up. So when we were doing the premiere for part 1 of this, Soupy kept saying, and he said it like 50 times, that he couldn't wait for part 2 of this because Metallica does a cover of Symphony of Destruction. Now, nobody react to that because I don't know if it's a real thing or not yet. I would assume it's not. But that would be absolutely hilarious if it was true. And when we were going through, I kept thinking he meant this video, but then I think he actually meant Symphony of Metallica 2. And then in Symphony of Metallica 2, they do a cover of Symphony of Destruction.
I've only seen a couple of songs from S&M 2.
Of every Megadeth song, I can't imagine James going, it takes a mortal man.
I was going to ask if that was what that song was.
I think that's what it is. As far as I understand, again, I'm not...
Boy, that would be something.
But I don't know. I could also see them doing it, but I just don't think they're friendly. So like, I think Soupy was pulling my leg, but I'm not sure. And so I intentionally didn't want to look or anything. And I was like, "Are you being for serious?" And he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "No, are you really serious?" He's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Oh man." So anyway, join our Discord if you want to trick me with stuff like that. I'm obviously very gullible.
Not hard.
I was gonna say I looked up today online. I wanted a list of rock/metal bands that have performed with an orchestra that have like a DVD or whatever out. And some people were mentioning, I thought the strangest one I saw was NoFX. Chris, do you know that there's a NoFX with orchestra?
The decline thing.
Well,
sure.
what does the orchestra do there?
Oh, it's like a they
Brass
did this
section?
No, it's like a whole thing. They
wrote it specifically with an orchestra in mind.
Nah, I don't know about that. I don't. As much as I love NoFX, I don't care about that thing. I've seen them play it because they made a big deal, especially later in their career, which is supposedly over now. Which is fine. I'm not sad. I'm really not. The last couple of records weren't really that good. But like they made a big deal about like playing that song once in like the cities that they would tour in, and I can't remember where it was maybe in Omaha where they did it. It's like a 17-minute long song thing, but they did. I have seen that.
Okay,
I've seen it.
It's interesting. That's
it's the thing that I'm thinking of. It's not an orchestra like this.
Okay,
it's like this dude that's in the classical music and punk rock thing, and he had a handful of people come and play a show. I'm recalling this now. I have seen that. It was like at a Warped Tour thing, or it looked like that from what I'm remembering. It was not like, if it's the thing that I'm thinking of, it was not like this.
Okay. Yeah, I was just reading through a thread of people suggesting. I was looking for a list, but no one made a list. They were just doing this. I know one of the things that people mentioned as being one of the highest quality in terms of from the standpoint of the orchestra was the one I thought of first and is one of my favorite band with orchestra things, and that's Within Temptation with an orchestra doing their Black Symphony album, where it's just like a greatest hits of their career with an orchestra. I know Epica very famously did Classical Conspiracy, where they performed classical songs as metal songs. So they took like Bach and Mozart and stuff, and they made those into metal songs, and then they played They also have an album full of Attack on Titan covers. Chris, I don't know if Chris Schoenberg. I don't know if you're not really a big anime guy, but I don't know if you ever watched Attack on Titan. But the music on Attack on Titan is all done by a Japanese band called Sound Horizon that is mind-blowingly incredible. But it's very orchestral rock band type progressive stuff. But Epica did a whole lot, like a whole real studio album, and then they performed it live as well.
Because Epica was the ones that were playing Metallica songs on cellos, right?
No, that's Apocalyptica.
That's Apocalyptica.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Apocalyptica for sure has that. No, Epica is a symphonic metal band with they're the most metal symphonic metal band.
That's funny because you have so many of those things that like if this happens in a song or if a band does this, I won't listen to it. I don't think I have as many of those as you, but like if you call a band a symphonic metal band, I am just out. I know you care.
I know. You become you become a commenter and you become a commenter in one of our videos, but in real life. But something else. Right.
I have never called you fat, bald, or cancer boy.
I'm pretty sure you have, but it was like meant from like a good place. It was coming from a good place. But I will just say from my perspective, I have, and I've never watched either of them, but I have them. I have it's called Score. It's Dream Theater with an orchestra. I have that. And I've never heard that because I want to learn more about Dream Theater before I actually watch it, but I bought it at Hastings for like $7 when I worked there. And I also have a Blu-ray of a band, I think they're a prog rock / prog metal band from France or something called Anathema, performing with an orchestra. I also have Styx performing with a youth orchestra, which I think would be a pretty fun thing to see. I've never watched that either. I just get stuff when I find it used, you know. But I would like to know anyone out there in the comments, or go join us on Discord and let us know there if you know of any really great shows. Like the Deep Purple one you mentioned, Chris, was one that people did mention a lot. They did this big thing with an orchestra, and I think that would be amazing to see. And that was after they they were a huge band at that point. So,
And was the oh no, I'm gonna get the band wrong, but it was I think it was Electric Light Orchestra, but their name might be misleading me. No, it's not. It's the Moody Blues thing. That was a big thing.
that does sound familiar, kind of.
Nights in White Satin, you guys know that song.
Yeah, that song. Oh yeah.
But like that one was done, and there was some special recording. It has something to do with British Christmas, I believe, that I heard, and like they have some British dude reading the poetry part in the middle, and it was with an orchestra. It was quite British.
That's cool.
But on the other end, where you're talking about Epica doing classical songs metal,
Yeah.
this thrash band called Ex Mortis
Okay, I've heard of them.
does that.
Okay, that's
I think
cool.
I've probably worn. I have one of their shirts.
That might be why it
I
seems
think I wear
familiar.
it on
I'm
them.
pretty sure. Yeah.
I've saw them live, and they do Moonlight Sonata, I think, is the one that they get the most credit for. But I think they did a few others. Those guys are super good guitar players.
That's
But,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So anyway, if you have any suggestions of stuff like we're talking about, please let me know. Of course, I will not let anyone forget about the greatest rock band performance with an orchestra of all time, Kaiser's Orchestra's Violetta Volume 3 performed live. I have that on Blu-ray, so no one needs to tell me. And if you don't know what that is, it's the greatest thing of all time. And then also, let's not forget the second greatest thing of all time, Evanescence live with an orchestra performing Synthesis live. So, but that's not rock or metal because that's just when she was doing her trip-hop stuff with synths and stuff and an orchestra. So,
I thought you were gonna say something about the other band.
Nightwish, they've never performed live with an orchestra.
What a bunch of posers.
Absolutely, 1,000,000%. Agree 1,000%.
They have all that money and they don't do that? And they're from Europe?
And they literally
They're
have
just like orchestras
100-piece
sitting on
orchestras
like street corners in Europe. Like
in
waiting for
Prague.
something to do.
Yeah, in
That's
Prague,
like
just
how I
sitting there.
imagine that, right? You're like, hey guys, I got this metal thing to play on, and you come over.
Also, seriously, anybody let us know if you want us to react to the movie Heavy Trip and its sequel, because I will watch that with Chris someday. I don't care if you just come visit me in the hospital or in Omaha or whatever and we watch it without filming it, but like, oh my God. That's got to be something that happens. Okay.
Let's watch this last song.
Yes, let's do it. I'm really curious what the song's going to be. I'm sure I'm forgetting some enormous song that they had that I'm totally forgetting.
I mean, they've got a lot of enormous songs that they haven't done, so it's, it'd be difficult to guess.
But I can't. Either it's going to be like a fast one, which I think would throw me off. I don't think it'll.
Metallica, they should end with the fast one. They already did Battery, though, right? That was. Like
they
the
haven't
second
done
song.
King Nothing, which I don't think they would end with that. But this is, again, you got to think a load reload. I'm
It's
guaranteed.
spit out the bone.
Shall we?
You made that joke last time, Chris.
Find
Did I
out?
really?
You did.
Oh.
Okay.
That's very funny.
You did, yes. Because I was like, that came out 10 years later, and you're like, that's the joke. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I remember it 'cause it made you feel dumb.
I did, yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1. I'm making my way.
We'd like to thank very much the San Francisco Symphony for having the balls to come out here and play with us, man.
That's cool.
And Maestro Michael Kamen, who put it all together, baby.
I don't love those camera shots where it like cuts to a camera that's like in the middle of zooming way in, like they didn't realize that it was their turn and they're trying to get caught up.
Yeah, that is a strange. Yeah, I agree. I noticed that earlier. I was like, that's a weird cut to choose that angle at that moment.
They probably rehearsed it and thought that they could just do it live.
Yeah. I like that you can see people in the foreground of some of those shots, those wider shots.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I'm going to guess it's The Unforgiven. That's my guess. If it was Spit Out the Bone, I'd be like, what? It ain't, though. But could you imagine? I'm sure there's an AI version of it. Spit out the bones, Symphony of Metallica mix. Look at that dude's mustache. Epic. And that's Abed from Community. And that's Zach from Saved by the Bell. That chick's in a metal band. It's worse than an instrumental song.
That's true, because it's not music.
Because instrumental songs are great. Look at that lady. She's like pretending she's happy to be there.
I think she's probably pretty
She
happy
probably
to be
is.
there.
You're right. All these. Okay, hold on. They like change lights. Nope, still nothing.
Lighting guy just wants to go home.
That's the second balcony is cool. We should have had some shots from up there. Don't show us the set.
That's how close you used to be able to get to the stage before 9/11.
A lot of things had changed on that day. Look at that dude in a referee shirt. Badass.
It's like you've never seen people before. It's really interesting.
I try not to look. I try not to notice people or ever come into contact with them. Sad but true. I can't see the last one. Spit out.
You don't
the
want to
bone.
see the last one.
No, I know. I don't want to see it. Vanilla Ice there. And then Devin Townsend right next to him. Fat Devin Townsend was right there. We do have people in our Discord that said they saw that a version of this show performed somewhere around the world.
Wow.
And I saw just recently that they performed Symphony of Metallica in like Australia or something. Or
Cool.
somewhere. Yeah, I think they just did songs from 1 and 2 put together. I'm not too sure how it
Wait,
worked.
why are those were those drum overheads 10 feet up?
No, I don't think so. But I was like, what are those things?
Those hanging mics, those are all just mics hanging there.
Yeah, it must be.
And I would bet they might just be for look. Or they're probably not. They're probably there to just capture the whole orchestra. They're each... Mm-hmm. Chris, when you hang something like that, how do you orient it exactly the way you want it to be? I would think
This one was on a stand. There's two big stands.
Okay, yeah.
Big,
There's some hanging.
It's hard.
Though.
You gotta tie it to something else.
Yeah.
Or have several points so it stays oriented correctly.
Dun dun da da dun da dun 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 da da dun dun da da. Instead, it's gonna be what I've felt, what I've known, never shine through on what I've shown. Never free, never be. Or they'll just play Mozart for a while. Little Looney Tunes action. Okay.
I'm probably your.
I think most of the stuff has individual mics on it. Did we discuss
We
this
did.
last
We did.
time?
Yeah, everything is like individual mic'd. Yeah. Which is nuts.
What a mountain of work
That
afterwards.
is a mountain of work.
He's talking to someone.
Okay, are you guys ready? Yeah, okay, you ready over there? Look at that shot. Do I have to blur that or not? I don't know.
No.
He was technically on the fretboard. There's metal harp guy.
Harp. Yep.
I agree, James. The thing is, and this is not a joke, it is in a lot of musicians' contracts that they get a second standing ovation.
Oh.
She's like, wait, what?
There's that one woman who really is just screaming.
I hate people like that in a crowd. Ruin it for everybody. If I was there recording this, I'd go, shut her up. oboe solo.
I thought this was like the second song. I knew that this was one. I just forgot that. Chris, you did a really good job of playing that off.
I didn't even say anything about it. I was like, nope, it's just.
What is it actually? Seek and Destroy? Dun, dun,
No.
Oh,
I know it's not. I don't know what the hell it is yet. How am I supposed to know what it is yet from this?
this might be my favorite Metallica song.
Yeah.
No, it is not. Is it? It could.
Yeah.
If it is, then it's either Fight Fire with Fire, Bullet.
That's not it.
Bullet.
Don't they have a song called Bullet?
No, sir.
What's the first song on Master of Puppets?
Oh, you're getting warmer.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't
Yeah,
Master
you're
of
like-
Puppets. Oh, Battery, not Bullet.
Yes.
Battery. Okay. Huh. Sounds a million times better than the album. Maybe not performance-wise. The orchestra's like, God, why we gotta do this? Well, they cut something out there. Or it was just really poorly timed. My audio is off sync. Is your guys too in the video?
I don't think so.
Nick Tendy is screwed up. Unsubscribe. Nah, I can't do it to him.
Are you alive? How does it feel to be alive?
Where did James's guitar go, or is he not playing? He's not. He's getting on some platform. Is he gonna swing down from the ceiling while playing his guitar? Oh,
That's a cool harmony.
yeah. Are we gonna get everybody with their own little solo sections in this?
That's cool too.
Yeah.
Lars is so happy when he can stop doing the funk beat for a second.
Yeah.
They could have stopped and the orchestra could have played that.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah. Whoa, that harp. Whoa.
Oh, and the little Pinky boys.
Thank you, friends. Yeah.
That was cool. When it started out, I was like, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's interesting that they would end on a fast one when their albums all start with a fast one. You know, not all, but like,
Thanks for coming down here,
I think
man.
Metallica shows
Make us
just
feel
end
good
with
here.
fast songs,
Yeah,
right? Like,
well,
isn't that a thing?
I guess, I don't know. You know?
I don't think I've ever known them to end with a slow song.
San Francisco
Yeah, that's what I'm-
Symphony, man. Let's hear it, baby.
I don't know why you would do that.
So that's cool. That's awesome. So for
Maestro
Symphony...
Michael Kamen at the helm, yeah.
This is also a
Thanks
part
guys. You made this a very special night. Thanks,
Kirk.
Well,
that I
What
don't
part were
like.
you- what part were you
Oh.
freaking out about?
Because I say that somewhat regularly that are you alive? Tell me how it feels to be alive.
Yeah.
And like, is it only from this? Because there's a couple other James Hetfield stage banter things that I say in real life that were like from
This is-
one thing that's
This
like,
is the only place
ever
I've heard
seen.
that. Yeah.
Because so I've
It's
seen
sick.
this before, obviously, because I say that.
Are you alive?
Same time next year.
Oh, hey, where was this?
Liar.
Yeah, same time next year. Shut up. The only person's voice that you want to hear in this band is James Hetfield.
Yeah, when Kirk started talking, I'm like, geez, that's abrupt.
Yeah, like.
Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause it.
Yeah, I'm done with this. I just wanted to see. Oh, I clicked back to way too far.
Let's see what.
I just wanted to see where it was recorded at.
Oh, the Berkeley Community Theater.
Yeah. And they put 2 dates on there. Do you have that up? I stopped on that.
April
screen.
21st and 22nd.
I think I would have just put April 1999
Oh.
because
To
then
not give away the split.
yeah, because now you're admitting to having done it on both days. There's like still some deniability if you just put April
Yeah, yeah.
99 on there. Tell me if that's a thing. Does James say that in other places? Not you guys. Down in the comments.
Yeah.
Has James said that at other times, or is it just from this one thing?
Hold on, what the heck is this?
Why does Nick Tengius? Why does this video only have 5,000 views?
I know, I don't get it either.
Like,
'Cause
are there
he
other
is like
versions
us.
of this on YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can find lots of them. I'm going to send you
And
guys
they
a
all
link.
and a bunch of them have different, like,
On
some
what?
of them are like upscaled to widescreen. Some
On
of them
Discord.
have, I don't know. all kinds of
Oh,
different
I think putting something like this in widescreen ruins it.
stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
this stuff was meant to be absorbed in 4:3. That was better than I thought it was going to be.
The whole thing, you mean, just in general?
Yeah, I liked it more than I thought I would.
Okay, that's...
I have listened to that, to S&M, a billion times.
Yeah.
And yeah, some of my favorite versions of various songs are on that.
Did you notice anything different this time? Just the way we're paying attention to
A
this?
little bit. Some of the more textured stuff that you brought up, the harp for sure was, we made such a big deal out of it, and we sort of like, put little seats, like harp's always going to be way over here on the left, and so stuff just happens. It's like, oh, there's that again.
Yep.
But
yep.
like, I've never really listened to it in headphones. It's usually a car thing,
Mhm.
and So yeah, just picking up little stuff like that for sure.
I just always like it when one of you guys listens to something you've heard before a bunch of times, but really focusing on it like this, you know? Because this focusing on music is how I listen to like everything I listen to. And it's pretty rare that I have music on in the background that is like music that I know. You know, I only put on background music in the background. And then in the car, I love listening to anything I like, you know? But yeah, I always, for sure. So for me, I think, see, I wish I would have brought the CD down here. That was my intention to do so. And I have all my other Metallica CDs here, but I took it up and I forgot to bring it down. So on this side, Wherever I May Roam stands out to me. And then also,
Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman for sure. But there was another one, that was not Minus Human. I was not very impressed with. I need to listen to that one again.
That is not true. Go back and watch the footage, Patrick.
No, I liked that it was. I remember saying that I enjoyed the guitars the whole time, but in terms of being like a song, like here's a new Metallica song you've never heard before.
It did seem like they threw something together. It didn't even seem like a Metallica.
Like I said, it reminded me a lot of Devil's Dance. Is that what the song's called? Devil's Dance.
Devil's Dance. Yeah.
It reminded me of that, which is a great song from Reload for sure. One of the best ones on the album. Let's dance. But there was another one that impressed me a lot on this side. I'm so shocked they didn't do The Unforgiven. So that's the thing. I did want to go through and say, here's songs that I would like to hear next time. Fade to Black, The Unforgiven, 1 and 2. It'd be awesome if they played them back to back on part 2. That would be really cool. I think that would be awesome. Actually, what a cool thing to do. Forget Unforgiven 3. It's stupid.
No, it's very good. I like it a lot.
Okay, I don't remember that one. Is that one on? Which one is that on? Hardwired?
It's on Death Magnetic.
Oh, well, that's why I forget it.
Piano in it.
It has piano in it.
The only song from Death Magnetic I remember at all is Don't Tell Me. Don't Tell Me.
Better be the right one.
Yeah, it's the only good one.
It's not going to be.
It's the only good one on there. It's The Day That Never Comes. Yeah, The Day That Never Comes.
Yeah. You knew what he was going to say.
I knew it wasn't going to be the correct one. I didn't know which one it would be, but that's definitely the wrong one.
That's the only good song on there that I remember that being good. Then, so I would like, obviously, Day Will Never Come. It's really interesting about Hardwired. Well, no. When was Symphony and Metallica 2? That was after Hardwired, right?
2020. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So after Hardwired. So just anything on their whole catalog. Seek and Destroy must be on there, 1,000,000%. I'm disappointed they didn't do that here, and the orchestra could do some cool stuff over that, I feel. I don't know if there's any other songs on the first album. If they did Battery here, I would think they might end the next one with Fight Fire with Fire. Would be my thought, possibly. Or at least they could do a version of it. They did Master of Puppets. They probably could do Ride the Lightning, right? I mean, that's another big song of theirs.
Hey, what happened?
Did they not?
They did not do Ride the Lightning. No. They didn't do the only song they did from Ride the Lightning at all was
For Whom the Bell Tolls.
For Whom the Bell Tolls. And was Call of Cthulhu on that, or is that the one?
Yeah, that's Lightning as well.
Right, okay. Because Orion is Master. Okay. I get those two mixed up. It's really interesting when you zoom out on the timeline of Metallica to see how similar Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning the albums are. You know, both start the same way. Both start the same way. Both end the same way with the long instrumental. There's,
I think it's the same number of tracks.
Yeah, 9, I think it is.
And the album artwork, which I will argue is the correct way to do heavy metal album artwork, where the format, we talked about this when we talked about one of those records. Yeah. The format stays the same.
And you just change the
logos at the top, the names at the bottom, and the picture changes. Maybe the color of the logo changes. Yeah, but
it should stylistically. It's cool when bands have all their albums look the same. I agree, 1,000,000%.
Yep, I agree.
So whatever. Those are from Black Album. Other than Unforgiven, I don't know what else you would do. You know, you could do My Friend of Misery. You could do, what's the fast one at the beginning of that one? The one that's like
Black Album.
Yeah, the second track. Track 2 is speaking of something that thought was real.
Through the Never.
No.
Through the Never.
Is it? I don't think. Is it? That's number 2 from.
Oh, that might be God That Failed that you're thinking of.
Yeah, that's not. Definitely don't do that one. If that is the one I was thinking of. No, I thought it was. For God's sake, just look it up. Hey Google, what's the second song on Metallica's Black album?
Sabbath True.
No, it's not. Sabbath True is track 3. Enter Sandman is 1. And then there's another. Remember, because when we did the reaction, we were like, Chris was like, if they'd have put that song first, I think this album would have been a hit. Instead, it was a big flop. Are you looking it up, Chris? Can you just look it up?
Yeah.
Are you saying that I said the Black Album was a flop?
I'm joking. You did not say that.
I can understand why people might be mad about listening
You did
to
say,
it.
though, when we find out what the song is.
Well, because somebody had told me that. Oh, yeah. I even remember who it was now. Yeah, I told them that we were going to do this. It was one of my friends. And they said how big of a deal that was, right? Everybody's excited about a new Metallica album.
Holier Than Thou, right? Did I just think of it?
yeah.
Holier Than Thou, right. That's the fast one. Speaking of, reaching out for something you thought was real.
Sabbath True is track 2. Holier Than Thou is track 3.
Shut up. I'm so dumb. I'm an idiot. So anyway, so when we were listening to it, you got to track 3 and Chris Schoenberg was like, oh, if this was the first track, it would have fixed everybody's problems. People would have realized Metallica was still a metal band and it would have been a happy day for everybody. And we were all like, oh yeah, it's an interesting thought because that's how all Metallica's albums, the previous 3 have started with a fast song. So that song they could do, because I think that's probably one, Holier Than Thou, though I don't know. Okay, so anyway, that's enough of that. But I do think it's fun to think about the songs that could be on there. The one you guys like from Death Magnetic, which is...
That one could be cool. Yeah, I'm waiting to see if Patrick can remember it.
Wait. Oh, Creeping Death was on the first half. Did they do that on the first half of this? No. So Creeping Death... No.
Did they?
No, they didn't. Creeping Death, though, could be one that would be cool in this format. I'm just saying for Symphony of Metallica, too. I don't know which songs are on there. I'm sure there's some doubles from this. I would love it if there was no doubles. That would be really cool, but I'm sure they did.
There's no way Metallica's not going to do something like that and not play Master Puppets.
Right,
No,
exactly.
Didn't do Creeping Death, you're right.
They didn't do Creeping Death. No. I didn't think so.
So it'd be cool if they did that with Symphony of Metallica, too. Okay, I'm trying to think of the one that you guys like. Spit Out the Bone is the fast one at the end of...
But it's disappointing. I remember hearing about that before I heard it. And like,
Yeah.
oh, Metallica did a really fast one in super metal. And then like listening to it, I'm like, yeah, but this
Okay, tell me the name of... Tell me which
All
one.
Nightmare Long.
Yes!
And Spit Out the Bone is from Hardwired anyway. Or
Yeah,
from
that's
the
what I
other
said.
one. No,
Yeah.
it's from...
Spit Out the Bone is Hardwired.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did they do another fast one at the end of
Death
the one
Magnetic?
that came after that?
72 Seasons?
No, sorry. Chris and I was talking about All Nightmare Long, which is from Death Magnetic.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Spit Out the Bone is from Hardwired.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's nothing good on 72 Seasons.
Wow. Wow. That is not true at all. But that's all right. You can think that, and I can think there's nothing good on Death
I've never
Magnetic.
gone back and listened to that album.
I've done it several times, but not recently. Yeah.
I cannot wait till we have our ranking list conversation. It's going to be fun.
I am excited to do that.
I'm really excited for that.
I really love to, like, when I watch people I like get into a room and try to kill each other over which, like
Thing
I've been
is
watching
better.
video games do like top 10 PlayStation games of all time and GameCube, and they're like at each other's throats for 4 hours. It's like, yes, give it to here.
Yep, I love that stuff too.
stuff.
I absolutely love it.
So on these podcasts that I listen to, I've been bad about it lately, but this is the reason like why I listen to all of Depeche Mode and then the other band that's just like them.
Blur.
Depeche Mode and Blur. Come on.
Well, sorry, those are the two you asked me. But if it's a band like Depeche Mode, it could be a lot of things.
No,
New Order.
They were the same.
Prince.
Wait, the same band? Eraser?
No, they were like right at the same time. There's Depeche Mode.
Wham.
No, it's another new wave band.
It's not Joy Division. It's the other one.
New Order.
Maybe
ELO.
Could have been New Order with the band that did Blue Monday.
Do not slander ELO.
I'm just picking names.
Anyway,
Tears for Fears.
It doesn't matter.
matters
They
to me.
do these things where it's 3 or 4 people most of the time, and they do them as drafts. And I guess like it's kind of like a sports thing, but they do it with music, and so there's categories. It's really interesting. You should listen to one, Patrick. I'll send you a link. I don't think that you'll like the podcast. I don't think that you'll like the people in it, and I don't want to hear about it because I like them.
That's fine.
But the idea of it, I think, is really cool. I think that because there's like a category, it would be like best Metallica single, and like the order is pre-selected, and you can't pick the same thing that somebody else did. So it like brings up some interesting things because like you have to have a backup for it, right? Or like, best Metallica live performance, or best Metallica album. That would be the big one.
Patrick doesn't like podcasts because they can't hear him when he talks.
I do like. I have been editing podcasts for 15 years.
Does that mean that you like them?
I don't.
You told me once you didn't like them because you don't want to hear a bunch of people have a conversation you cannot also have.
Here we are making a podcast.
I don't know. Yeah,
because he gets to be a part of it.
Right.
I suppose.
I enjoy listening to other people. See, for me, I don't like listening to podcasts. I like watching podcasts.
That's fair.
I like to see the people talking. It's weird. There's like a disconnect in my brain. I can listen to a podcast, but to me, I'm like, if I'm gonna sit here and listen to something, I want to listen to music. But if I'm going to watch a video, I'll watch people talk. What do you do with your eyes
when you listen to podcasts? That's the thing that's always tripped me up. Like, I've listened to hundreds of hours of podcasts, but it's like, what do I do with my eyes?
See, I should try like doing physical work at some point. Podcasts are great.
That's true. It is good for that as well. 100%. Okay, but hold on. Sorry, I feel like we didn't talk about this album enough here at the end. So I just want to say I did like the whole thing. I do think that I don't know if I would say there's a single song on this that I think is better than the album version. And maybe there's some that come close. I think if
even as much as you hate one and like that, I think that I actually like that version.
No, you're probably right. One is a little better here, probably. Although I am disappointed that it lost the sort of heaviness of that ending part.
A little bit.
Because they just kind of went right into it, which we discussed a little.
But that kick drum thing, by the way, that you brought up, that's how it works in the song.
Yeah, right. Yes.
The kick drum does before they get
for sure. Yes. And I was just mentioning that again because it is something that at the time I don't know if I noticed. We've talked about it since then in one of our videos talking about one. Because Chris and I both listened to Justice twice. I listened to Justice with you, Chris Schoenberg. Then I listened to Justice with just Chris. And then Chris and I both did a video just on one.
I think I did a bad job on Justice and Ride the Lightning.
See, when I go back and watch those videos, I'm like, man, I wish Chris would act like this a little bit nowadays. All he does now is complain about stuff. Back then, we're sitting there, you're like up, and we're like, oh yeah, listen to that. That's so cool. And now you're just like, I don't give a shit about this.
I swear I watched your
mostly kidding.
Your
somewhat
Lightning video,
bit
and I think I had like a 3-paragraph YouTube comment.
You did. You told me that, yeah.
And I ended up not posting it because it was all pissed off. But
did I rip on Ride the? I didn't rip.
Not you.
Lightning.
No. Yeah. Of the two of you, who am I going to be mad at?
Well, like everybody else on the internet.
Yeah, join the club. Hopefully we did better this time, not talking over the music as much. I definitely felt like I got to experience the album more, so hopefully everyone...
That was
good. And I do want to say, just in our defense, a little bit, we do not get together and talk very often. So when we get together to do these videos, for me, it's also partially just like hanging out with two of my best friends. So it's like the idea of us sitting here and talking to each other is to me like my favorite part of all of this. So like the music is whatever, but to be in here with you guys is like the fun part for me. So it's
that's why I think people are mad because they think it's a reaction. Well, and like it kind of
You're on the clock, damn it.
I know.
It kind of is, but really it's a podcast with music in the background.
But also, like, if you watch some of our other reactions, like Chris Parker and I have done so many reactions, just the two of us, and we definitely don't talk over the music as much in those. And that's probably because we talk a lot more in between. We'll give us something neither of us like, and we'll talk about it for 30 minutes, and then go into the next song and talk about it for 30 minutes. So, like, we have had so many conversations. It's so much funner talking about why you don't don't like something or why it sounds bad than why you do or why it sounds good. But I do think this album sounded good. I think it's interesting the difference between the CDs and the DVDs. So I would recommend anyone that's like a huge fan of this, but you're only used to listening to the CDs or you're only used to watching the DVD. I highly recommend trying to compare the two a little bit. Like, however you mostly consume this, try the other way and see what you think, because I'm shocked at how enormous that kick drum is on the CD version. It's very interesting.
So, Chris, did you owned this when it came out, or like around that time?
I don't think I owned it,
because as I was thinking about this, and then especially when Battery played, I started to reflect on my relationship with this album, and I knew when I was like, whatever, a freshman or an 8th grade or whatever, I hung out with a couple older people that were cool. And I know that at least I can think of 2, and I think that 3 people that I hung out with all the time just had this in their car, and it was like on all the time forever. Like, and this would have been right around when it came out. Yeah, it would have been. God, I'm old. And like, that's how I remember it. And then when that thing with Battery, and that did not surprise me at all, that like, oh, that's what I said, but it's super not surprising that it's from Battery, because like, if Chris is going to listen to S&M, like I guarantee that I listen to a few songs and then skip to the end, listen to Battery, and then we're done. And then, oh yeah, Chris says the James Hetfield thing in conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
No,
yeah, did you sit down and listen to this album in 1999 or 2000 or whatever?
It was shortly thereafter, because I became a fan in like 2000, 2001. I got hooked on Reload first, and then I went to Justice, and then I was like, okay, I do like this. And then S&M was like hot at the time. You know, it was big right around then. So I was like, yeah, I'll listen to that.
But like,
and I'm pretty sure.
With friends or like with headphones on in your bedroom?
Nah.
Or in the car or whatever.
The car the most.
Yeah.
An overwhelming amount of my listening has happened in the car. But I don't know. I actually, you know what it was? I used to have my Winamp was just like, had like thousands of songs on it. And like every song I ever downloaded just went into Winamp in, order. And then I would just leave it on shuffle. And me and a friend of mine would have little competitions of how long our Winamp had been running consistently, like the number of hours and stuff.
What an unhinged thing to do. But
that is crazy. Yeah.
I did the exact same thing. What a terrible way to listen to music.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I know it. And so, yeah, I would say overwhelmingly listening to the album version on my computer while doing other stuff.
Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been so fun. I committed the other day on our Discord to doing Symphony of Metallica 2. So as of right now, nice. I think the only Metallica things we have left are Garage Inc. Disc 2 and then Symphony of Metallica Part 2. And then we'll have the fun task of like doing our lists and just overall conversations. And I think that kind of stuff is going to be really fun. But I am not really looking forward to Garage Inc. Disc 2. I don't know why people keep insisting that they want us to do that. Unless I'm
looking forward to you
just hating
experiencing it.
Yeah, I just think I don't know if there's like specific songs on there people like or what, but they're just like, you guys got to do Disc 2. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine.
I would never say that.
For completeness, we need.
Yeah.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah,
I would not do it at this point, for sure. And then there's also other people there's other songs.
There's so much Metallica.
There's other songs.
Stuff.
There's like a song that Metallica did with Ludacris or something that they did when one of the guys in the band was sick, either Lars or James, and then the other guys in the band decided to do this song with Ludacris. So apparently that's a thing. So there's a bunch of stuff we can do, and there's always live stuff we can do, because I definitely want to do some more live stuff. I think that the live stuff is really fun, and just like we've been saying for album worths of conversation now, the fact that I'm disappointed with how some of the earlier Metallica stuff was recorded and sounds, and now we know their live stuff can sound so fantastic. I would really like to hear basically everything, any song from Kill 'Em All, Ride, and Master re-recorded and done live over the last 2 decades. I think it would sound phenomenal. So that would be really interesting. Yeah.
Because that was minutes ago.
Yeah, we're in the ending part.
Okay.
The last thing we always talk about is what we might do next.
Oh.
That's the last
or
thing
someday.
we always talk about.
There's a
or
format
someday.
to this.
Yeah, there's a method to the madness. So anyway, Thank you very much so much. If by chance I die during the transplant, it was really nice to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining the channel and our Discord. Keep it going after I'm dead. Keep the Discord alive. But it doesn't matter. Whatever. This is not the time for that. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Let us know in the comments how stupid we are. Let us know how great we are. Please join the Discord. I say it every time. Think about subscribing. All that good stuff. We really do appreciate it. We're looking forward to the next thing, and we will see you at that time.
Shouldn't have hit the table at the end. The camera jiggled.